Kirby as well as Matt Upson. Fran, what sort of game are you expecting here this evening?
I think it's going to be a really interesting game, actually. It's going to be interesting to see how Chelsea start the game in terms of, do they try and score a goal early, or do they try and delay Arsenal? We heard Liam say earlier we want to really push into the second half. Chelsea can't concede again, so they have to make sure that they limit the chances that Arsenal get. But also it's going to be interesting because Arsenal also have the one goal advantage. Are they going to just try and control the game, see the game through, and just be a bit more calmer? So it's going to be interesting to see how both teams set up to deal with each other.
That's Fran Kirby. Matt Upson is also alongside me as well. This might not be as straight cut as people think.
It won't be. I'm pretty sure it won't be, to be honest. I mean, unless there's something where Chelsea just don't really perform and make errors and give the ball away, and Arsenal, get an early goal, let's say, and it could kill the game. But I think this is really challenging for Arsenal, and I think they're going to have to be right on it. Chelsea are coming from a position where you feel that they've maybe not got as much to lose coming into this tie, and I think that puts you in a nice little psychological advantage. Interesting setup as well, Deno, isn't it, with the five at the back? I think that's thrown a little curveball to Mikel Arteta and his plans, maybe.
Well, we are underway with Arsenal playing from left to right as we look. Good atmosphere inside the Emirates on what is a very chilly evening in the capital. It's wet as well as Kepa is under pressure. Chelsea very aggressive in the press, but that was beaten. Saliba did well. Timber now comes forward. Hernandez tries to get back at him, and Zubamendi closed down by Santos, and it goes out of play for a throw. I would imagine as well, as a former defender, these aren't exactly conditions conducive to...
It's slick.
Yeah.
Ball's like a bar of soap, isn't it? It's sipping about all over the pitch. You can see in the corners where it's really been raining kind of relatively heavily all day, hasn't it? And the pitch has really absorbed a lot of that, and the ball is moving very quickly. But Chelsea looks set nicely. I mean, with a new manager, players are forgetting about that bounce, really, of wanting to show the manager they should be in the team. And Chelsea have started with a good bit of energy, certainly pressing from the front with Enzo, João Pedro and Delap.
Well, they've scored in every game since Liam Rosenior took charge. Chelsea do have a habit this season of finding the net. They've actually only failed to score once in 36 games in all competitions. So it's only a slender lead. I think that Garnacho goal, 7 minutes from time in the first leg, definitely changed the complexion of this tie, as here is Eza just running back inside his own half and then able to face the way that Arsenal are playing. Saliba, Timber to his right, Madueke, still no Saka of course, who withdrew from the warm-up at Ellen Road, I think was with a hip problem, so he's still out. Marino is going to be missing for the majority of the rest of the season with that foot problem. We'll wait to see about Ødegaard as Arsenal just try and slow the tempo down in these early stages. 2.5 minutes played. Kepa, the former Chelsea goalkeeper, all in yellow, hits it long downfield and straight through to his opposite number, Robert Sanchez, who's able just to control the ball before picking it up.
The big blow, Marino being out, isn't it? I think, we're speaking so much about how the squad is important, how players impact off the bench, and he's certainly one of those, Marino. He weighs in with a fair few goals, doesn't he, from midfield. Fantastic in the air, real threat on the infamous Arsenal corner this season, which has just been brilliant.
Talking about a potential impact on the off the bench for Chelsea, Estevao is involved in the matchday squad tonight. He had gone back to Brazil, compassionate leave for personal reasons, and Liam Rosenior was just leaving it to him, but he's returned, and he is amongst the substitutes for Chelsea, who's travelling support, made that short trip across the capital, over on that far right corner as we sit high up in the gantry here in the main stand at the Emirates, just to the left of the halfway line. That was a loose back pass from Chalobah that I would imagine caused a slight skip in the heart of Robert Sanchez as he just had to run back inside his penalty area, but Arsenal on the ball with Zubamendi. And now with Saliba. Timber is going ahead of him, but Cucurella with the interception. And then Cucurella and Timber got involved in a little bit of afters. Cucurella didn't like the fact that Timber just caught him accidentally with his arm, and then he threw himself forward in a very and typically Cucurella way, honestly, in a theatrical manner.
Honestly, I have to respect him as a player. I think he's got a lot to offer, but sometimes the way he plays the game, I struggle with Deno, to be honest. It's very dramatic, very causing a problem. Even against West Ham, at the start with Traore on Saturday, it was very dramatic in the way he goes to ground. Okay, Traore does wrong, but it all kind of stems from that all the time, and he regularly does it. That was a clear attempt to try and get someone in trouble there.
Just notice the way that Chelsea are lining up at the minute. Pedro's the one going through the middle. Delap has actually gone out wide on the right-hand side. I was thinking maybe more Pedro might play off Delap, but Delap is staying out wide right. Yeah,
it looks to be it looks to kind of be Enzo and Pedro and Delap as a bit of a three, isn't it? Really, with the two in midfield and then a proper back five as it is. Cucurella's dropping all the way back with Madueke. Gusto's tucked in alongside Fofana. So they're just stopping Arsenal, trying to avoid giving them any space. And I've got to say, opening 5 minutes of the game, they've not really managed to get their wide players in any situations one-on-one.
Ball goes out to that far side, the left, and Martinelli runs forward. Nkapie powering on the overlap, not required. Cross comes in, cleared away on the edge of the penalty area by Chalobah. Arsenal quickly win it back. Timber holds off Fernandes, overruns it into the penalty area. It'll be picked up by Santos. He just plays a short forward ball to Enzo Fernandez, and the back pass to Sanchez from Chalobah. I thought might have just sold him a fraction short. Gabriel beats Delap in the air, the ball will run out wide. Fran, what have you made of Chelsea's start?
Yeah, you can see that they're trying to do the high press, and as you noticed, obviously Delap's playing more on the right wing, Enzo a little bit more on the left, and it's interesting in possession, Gusto is coming inside to create an overload in the midfield to try and allow Chelsea to have more bodies inside. But also on the flip side, because Delap is a little bit wider, he's dealing with the fullback, Eze's pocket is actually on when Arsenal have the ball, and Gusto is trying to jump to him, but then he's leaving Martinelli on the outside. So I think Arsenal have an opportunity there to use Eze if they can find him.
Thank you, Fran. It was interesting while Fran was talking, our referee Peter Banks, who's in charge tonight, just came across and had a word with Jurrien Timber.
What was that?
I think it was because I think he'd been alerted to the fact that he caught Cucurella with an arm. He was just saying cut it out. As Cucurella now runs forward, ball delivered in low from the right-hand side, and then the snapshot comes in from Delap because it hadn't been dealt with by the Arsenal defence, but he's pulled it wide. 6.5 minutes played, 0-0, goal kick Arsenal.
It's not a night for pausing on the ball in your box at the moment. Both teams really trying to assert themselves at the start of this game, as you'd expect. High energy. Delap onto that one as the touch comes in. I don't think you're going to get a hot second in the box. It is a very fast start.
I can't imagine what else it would have been about Peter Banks having a word with
but he didn't actually. They just bumped into each other and he put his arm across him to get the better of him. Cucurella didn't like it and then tried to kind of throw himself to the ground in the next bit of contact afterwards, quite dramatically. And
he's shown 3 red cards this season, Peter Banks, both involving Chelsea. He sent off Sanchez early at Old Trafford, Casemiro followed, and then Cucurella actually was sent off against Fulham in January. We're hoping nobody sees red tonight. Here is Eze, lays it off to Zubamendi. Zubamendi runs forward into the centre circle. Arsenal playing from left to right as we look, 0-0. They lead 3-2 on aggregate. Nkapie, the left back. Martinelli goes on ahead of him. Comes almost to a standstill midway through the Chelsea half. And then Zubamendi to Gabriel into the centre circle. And back to Kepa. Oh, Arteta is livid.
And he wants the ball played quicker. And I think he wants to go forward. Chelsea doing a really good job of not allowing Arsenal any space. It's an interesting start to the game, and I think tactically Rosenior has identified those wide areas. I mean, the amount of times you watch Arsenal play and you see either Trossard or Martinelli or Saka or Mac just causing havoc in those little wide areas outside the box, and Chelsea just not allowing Arsenal any ball time in that area at all.
Already Cucurella has started to get booed and jeered. I think he must get quite used to that now. Along with Garnacho, it doesn't matter where they are, they always tend to get the opposing fans giving them a little bit of grief. Chalobah to Fofana. He is playing as the right of that back three for Chelsea. Chalobah, that central figure, gives it short to Santos. Eze goes towards Chalobah. not really going anywhere at this stage. Then Fofana just chips the ball up towards Pedro. Saliba was tight behind him. Santos wins the ball early in the midfield. Fernandes to Pedro. Pedro's first touch takes him away from Saliba. He's now facing the edge of the area, just looking for a shot of sight of goal. João Pedro enters the area. Cucurella now left-hand side, blocked by Timber. I tell you, and then the challenge from Madueke was a firm one, but fair on Cucurella, who took a tumble.
Well, it's a fair old shoulder barge, that. I mean, I was expecting a bit more of a reaction, really, from Cucurella, but he actually took it and got on with it. He really was a little bit late there, Madueke. He wasn't going to win the ball and just saw the opportunity to bounce his shoulder into him and knock him off the pitch. The fans enjoyed it down in the bottom corner.
Certainly fired up the crowd here at the Emirates. A Chelsea goal would make life interesting here.
Yeah, it would. I mean, I do like the look of João Pedro at the moment, I have to say. He's a footballer, he really is. I mean, some of his play, the way he uses his body, he really is on the edge as well, Danny. The way he plays the game, he can be a little bit naughty at times, but I think some of the best players in that position are, you know, he walks that tightrope, causes a lot of upset, but doesn't have to do some really good things.
He's actually enjoying his best form since he's arrived at Chelsea as well. 5 goals in his last 5 games, so he's very much a man in form. As Hato goes back to Sanchez, all in black, away towards our right. Hits it right-footed out towards Delap, coming in off that touchline. The challenge on Gabriel. Is he trying to get in behind Nkapie? Is that the way he's stayed out wide, do you think, Fran, on that far side?
Yeah, perhaps. I think it's just the structure, to be honest. I think the structure's forcing him to do that, especially when Arsenal have the ball. He has to drop, because otherwise Gusto's going to be overloaded, and we know that Arsenal want to attack with as many players as they can going forward. So I think it's making him stay back, but then obviously you've seen possession, he's trying to go high and wide, and Cucurella's coming really high on this side as well. So they're trying to make it expansive, but when they lose the ball, he has to come in and stop that pass through to Eze.
That's Frank Kirby, also in the company of Matt Upson. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live, available on the BBC Sounds app as well, with commentary of this semi-final second leg of the League Cup, to see who will be at Wembley on the 22nd of March. Ball goes through the middle. João Pedro gives chase. Kepa was alert and clears downfield. Gyökeres, but stopped by Chalobah, and Chalobah then gives it to Andre Santos. Here is Andre Santos now. Gusto appears in the central area, chips the ball out towards Delap. Nice cushion control by Delap. Then he slips and then pushes the ball past Nkapie at the second time of asking, and there was a shove there. There's a clear foul on the Ecuadorian, the left back of Arsenal. Free kick to the home side, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, he's a powerful boy, Liam Delap. He has a little slip initially and then really backs himself to have the pace to get inside him. He doesn't quite get there and makes the foul, but that's quite an interesting little matchup over that side, unexpectedly, really. Nkapie v Delap on the right-hand side of the pitch. I think there could be a little bit of action over there.
Notts County leading Gillingham by a goal to 0 at Meadow Lane. That would take them second in the table. Harrogate 0, Swindon 0, Bristol Rovers 0, Walsall 0, Barnet lead Crewe by a goal to 0. In the other latest scores in League 2, just a smattering of matches that are being played in the Football League, but we will keep an eye on them for you. As here is Zubimendi, in between the two central defenders. Fullbacks are pushed on for Arsenal, remains 0-0, 13 minutes played. And we'll find out what's happening at Hull City. Chris Coles.
Not a great deal, in truth. Hull 0, Watford 0, although Watford, manager as Watford, by far the better. They've had the 2 half chances of the game, Loser shooting wide from the edge, and Chakvetadze also from range, forcing a good save from Panda. Hull 0, Watford 0.
Chelsea go there soon, Friday the 13th of all dates. FA Cup 4th round, you'll hear it here, of course, on 5 Live. It's also a BBC television game, I think, too. As Nkapie to Kepa, back into his penalty area. Kepa's going to get closed down by Fernandes. Rice made himself available, out towards Saliba, urged on by Mikel Arteta. Arsenal play from left to right, back then to Declan Rice. João Pedro stands in front of him. Forward ball to Zubimendi, back towards Saliba, but again Chelsea pushing those blue shirts forward, and Arsenal reluctant to go past them at this stage.
I think Chelsea probably settled into the game maybe better than Arsenal, to be honest. And I think Arsenal is still figuring this out. They're not quite sure how to get their game going, and Chelsea are enjoying this system at the moment.
Eza, first time layoff to Martinelli, went closer to Chalobah. Chalobah was knocked to the floor, and it'll be a free kick. Mikel Arteta looks animated.
Yeah, it wasn't quite enough on the layoff, of the angle on the layoff from Eze to Martinelli. Gave the Chelsea player an opportunity to get back and win the tackle, but Arsenal really struggling to build any momentum. I've not seen any kind of pressure of them maintaining the ball around the Chelsea box, getting it wide, crosses in. There's been nothing so far. We're nearly 15 minutes into the game, and Chelsea doing a great job of just dampening this cup tie down.
As if it needed in these wet conditions in North London, as Sanchez goes long with a free kick. Thing is, Fran, I mentioned earlier about Chelsea have scored in the majority of their games this season. As a forward player, that must give you a great deal of confidence, knowing that you're going to get a chance.
Yeah, absolutely, and these are the games where you can see Arsenal are dominating the ball. So it just takes one chance. Just takes one chance for Chelsea to get in them areas and make it difficult for Arsenal, which they're doing so far.
Martinelli, left-hand side, level the area. Plays it forward, behind him to Nkapie. Nkapie then to Declan Rice. Arsenal, though, forced away from the penalty area, is now with Saliba outside the centre circle. And this is Timber along the ground towards Madueke. George, our producer, said to have a look at these two, because they had a bit of a ding-dong when they met back in December. And again, they had a little coming together there. Madueke has won a corner.
No love lost, is there, really, between these two? Madueke just looking to slow him down, knock it and run and beat him on the outside, but Cucurella just about matches him, gets the tackle in, ball goes out, and objective complete really for Madueke, because a corner is one of the best outcomes he could hope for in that situation, and Arsenal have it with an in-swinger, with Madueke taking it with his left foot.
Oh, now this is interesting. Chelsea have just sprung 3 players before the corner was going to be taken. 3 players raced out of the penalty area, and straight away that has forced Arsenal to respond. Kepa's gone into the centre circle, but they've got 2 back, Declan Rice and Zubimendi, and Eze has had to come across with Hato. But it was a late break just before Madueke was about to take it. There's all sorts of jostling going on inside that penalty area. In it comes now, Madueke with a corner kick, and the header will drop off target. Came off a Chelsea head, another Arsenal corner. What about that development?
Well, it's interesting, wasn't it? I think Liam Rossini's objective here is just to mess with Arsenal, really, with how they've set up, little quirks like that, which are really interesting. Does ask the question, makes Arsenal feel a little bit unsettled, and that set piece didn't have the same momentum, did it? Not as many players arriving in the box, not that usual kind of force that Arsenal go into that ball.
It was something that Shay Gibbon said on BBC Radio 5 Live on Saturday evening, and then he reiterated it on Match the Day at the weekend. And it comes now. It's an in-swinging corner, headed up and eventually headed away by Chalobah. And he orders that Chelsea back line to push out, but Arsenal win it back. Eze. Shot comes in, flying save by Sanchez. It was Nkapie who hit it left-footed. It was left-footed and curling, and forced Sanchez to make the flying save to his right.
We were right behind it, weren't we? Cracking effort with his left foot, comes inside, hits it medium height, really tries to whip it and bend it into the far post, and Sanchez, who is a real athletic goalkeeper, makes a good dive to his right-hand side, gets a big hand on the ball and parries it right into an Arsenal player. I didn't actually see who it went to. I think it was Gyökeres, wasn't it? The ball comes straight out to cannons off his hand into, actually it's Gabriel who's gone up to the far post. He just can't get the ball under control.
That was the first meaningful bit of action that we've had in this second leg of this semi-final that remains 0-0. Gyökeres bundled over. Referee Peter Banks will give the free kick. Barnsley have equalised, incidentally, in League One. Barnsley 1, Northampton Town 1 is the latest score at Oakwell. The question now, does Liam Rossini clearly watch his Match of the Day? He wouldn't have been listening to 5 Live ahead of the West Ham game. And that was interesting, wasn't it?
It was. He's turned up.
You bet you now other clubs will start to follow suit.
He's turned up with a couple of changes to Chelsea's plan, and I like it so far.
19 minutes played, 0-0. Rice with a free kick for Arsenal. in swinger, headed away by Chalobah. Cucurella gives it back to Arsenal though with Eze. Back with Rice. Also, two managers do have history in the FA Cup final of 2014 when Liam Rosinha was a runner-up with Hull City. And Mikel Arteta lifted the trophy that day as Arsenal captain in the FA Cup. Here they're looking to try and reach the League Cup final. Liam Rosinha's only been in charge 28 days. He's crammed a lot of football.
I was going to say, how many games is he? It's his 8th, isn't it?
This is his 8th game. So he's had 7 games in 4 weeks.
Bonkers, isn't it? What a schedule that is.
Mind you, every domestic game has been in the capital. He hasn't had to venture too far.
Well, that is a bonus, and obviously these 2 cup ties are not far away from home, is it? So I understand that, but he's had a really good start results-wise. It couldn't have gone a lot better, could it?
Yeah, he's won 6 of those 7 since he took over. Only the Arsenal first leg is his only loss. Kepa going to go through the middle. Martinelli's made the run. Good vision by the keeper. Good distribution too. He's found Martinelli into the penalty area, left-hand side, cuts it back, and it goes behind Nketiah and Eze. And there was Cucurella in a central area. That was a ball that we've seen many times. Thinking of Edison, Manchester City, where he just hit it straight down the middle. But he picked out the run front of Martinelli.
Yeah, and it was really interesting, the movement between Eze. Eze's dropped in and Martinelli's in space because the centre-back's gone all the way in with Eze, which has allowed Martinelli to have that space in behind. And it was really unfortunate with the cutback there that it wasn't able to land on an Arsenal foot.
Yeah, there were 2 red and white shirts joining the attack. You can feel, though, it's on a knife edge, even though the Arsenal still lead by 1-0 overall.
Yeah, no, totally. There's a feeling, and I think there's an uncertainty. And I think that Liam Rosinha's probably created that by the way Chelsea have started the game, how he set them up, how they're playing. Is certainly not what was expected, and it's just thrown this game into a little bit of an unknown.
Caicedo, he was suspended for the first leg, plays it to Chalobah. Eto'o, back to Chalobah, under pressure from Rice, has to dig it out from inside his penalty area. Gabriel gets over the top of Gusto to head it forward. Gyökeres tries to spin away from his man. Chalobah put his head down where it was brave to make sure he got there, and here is Gusto over on that far side, just in front of the Chelsea travelling support. It remains 0-0. You're listening to 5 Live here at the Emirates. Back to Sanchez, just helps it rather casually to Chalobah. Passes the ball on. Saliba, challenged by João Pedro. He was having his shirt pulled. The referee spotted it and gives the free kick to Chelsea.
I tell you, that is top play from João Pedro. It really is. He started the game well. I mean, Saliba tries to get just on the side of him. He gets really tight as the ball plays in. Chelsea are not messing about with the ball at the back either, which I like. They're not taking too many chances or risky passes. They're being very kind of clear about how they want to set about this game. But João Pedro, the way he held Saliba off there was just brilliant.
Cucurella collects the ball at around knee height from Fernandes, then gives it back to the Argentinian World Cup winner. Eto'o now. Every Chelsea player is in the Arsenal half. They're playing from right to left as we look. As Fofana out to Delap on that far side. Back with Fofana just outside the centre circle. Arsenal have everybody back behind the ball. Gusto shows himself on the far side. Instead it goes short and diagonal to Caicedo, who then exchanges passes with Fofana not once but twice, and in fact 3 times. And as Arsenal just slowly started to creep and get ever closer to those Chelsea players. Fofana then closed down by Martinelli on the far side. Like a game of chess.
Yeah, not a rip-roaring start to the game, is it? But interesting nonetheless, very different. And Chelsea look very composed, comfortable. Arsenal, like you said, Dano, dropping right back in and then edging up and just trying to figure out their spacings. It's not normal in terms of where they're needing to go to press. The press isn't quite the same from Arsenal.
And every now and again, either side is not prepared, or are prepared rather, to go long. There was João Pedro who'd made the run, and it was a ball out of defence that just looked for him. So, with the insight that Matt and Fran have provided, it's an intriguing game.
It's the complete opposite to the first leg. Honestly, it was high tempo, both teams trying to play, Chelsea trying to play football all the way out from the back, usual systems, and kind of what happened probably was expected, whereas this is really different. I'm quite enjoying how different it is.
Gabriel with a flick header. Rice then under pressure, being followed by Caicedo, has to pass the ball all the way back to Kepa. Enzo runs towards him. Gabriel almost showed too much towards Delap, but they got away with it. And Capier, the left back, diagonal ball to Zubamendi, gets it out from underneath his feet, just drops back just outside the centre circle of his own half and slows it down to retain the control. He's applauded by his manager Mikel Arteta. The persistent rain continues to fall in North London. 25 minutes played and it remains 0-0. Arsenal, remember, lead from that first leg by 3-2. Both meetings this season have been at Stamford Bridge. There was that 1-1 draw earlier in the year. There's another goal though in the Championship at Bramall Lane. Oh, hold on, we'll go to Nathan in a moment, but Arsenal have given the ball away. And Delap to Santos. Caicedo, all nice and congested in the midfield as Caicedo spreads it out to that far side, and Gusto provides the width, but Arsenal are forcing him back. We'll go to Nathan Alban at Bramall Lane.
Where Sheffield United have found an equaliser just before half-time against Oxford. Burrows with the pullback, and Sidney Peck stroked it home into the bottom corner. Sheffield United 1, Oxford 1.
Chris Wilder's side unbeaten in 7 games at home in the Championship. They did have, of course, that FA Cup defeat against Mansfield as Delap's cross is deflected and diverted away and behind for a Chelsea corner kick. Came in from the right-hand side, and Declan Rice, despite the best efforts of Kepa, had already gone well behind for a Chelsea corner, 0-0.
Yeah, Delap wide on the right-hand side, crossing the ball, not what you normally see, and there's not much about this game that you normally see. And you know, clearance from Declan Rice, ball spins up in the air, and Chelsea now have an opportunity. Let's see if they've been working on any attacking set pieces that might look a bit different, Deno.
Well, as they play from right to left, the corner's on that far side, the right. It's going to be an outswinger. Chalobah, Delap and Fofana are the 3 blue shirts to aim for just now, 6 yards out as they try and muscle their way into that 6-yard box. That's where it comes in now. From the right, headed out, goes back towards Enzo Fernandez. Chance to deliver the ball again. Gabriel heads it away under pressure. Chalobah then hits it on the half volley. He sliced it off target, goal kick.
It's a good header that from Gabriel. Good ball in as well. Horrible to deal with. It's like moving all over the place in a really difficult height.
Incidentally, a win for Chelsea just by the 1 goal would take us into extra time tonight as a free kick. So the frustration of Liam Rosenior has gone against Chelsea. Madueke is the player who is down.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit from Madueke here, playing a game with Cucurella. Yes, Cucurella is a little bit rash the way he steps into the tackle, but Madueke down on the floor holding his leg. I don't think there's much lower body contact. He just bumps him, then he slips, and then there's not much of a foul. I can understand why the referee's giving it, but Madueke making a lot of that, and there's certainly something between these two. I think either one would be glad to get the other one in trouble, let's put it that way.
Yeah, there's no love lost there.
No.
Enzo Fernandez wasn't retreating the full 10 yards either. Peter Banks just had to have a word with him. Here is Gabriel forward to Eze. Almost gave the ball away, but Arsenal have retained it. Rice under pressure from Caicedo to Saliba. Saliba then to Gabriel, his central defensive partner. Forward ball to Eze, being tracked by Fofana. Out then to Nkapie. Tries to slide that ball forward for the run of Rice, but there was Gusto.
That ball's just not on at all. They are sitting in those wide positions. There's a Chelsea player in that area all the time. That ball slid down the side, feeding it out wide to a wide player. It's not happening at the moment.
Fran, who do you think, as we approach the half-hour mark, who do you think will be the happier of the 2 managers?
I would say Liam. I think the way Chelsea have set up and defensively been really, really solid. Arsenal have possession of the ball, but they're not going anywhere with it. They get to a certain point, and then the way Chelsea are defending it forces them to play backwards, and you can see Arteta's getting furious with it. He wants them to go forward, he wants them to go with tempo, and Chelsea are just nullifying it.
I think we're going to see a point where Chelsea just switch up and have to go for it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. When that will be, we'll have to wait and see. But
when he's made 3 subs at half-time.
Yeah.
29 minutes played, they've got a free kick. It's just inside their half, and Andros Santos is going to just bide his time as he knocks it back towards Chalobah. Now Hearts are in Paisley tonight. They've got a chance to go 9 points clear of Celtic, but Kenny Crawford has been a sending off.
Big development, Ian. 29 minutes gone, still St Mirren 0, Hearts 0, but Craig Halkett, the Hearts defender and captain, has been sent off for a tackle right on the edge of his box on Jacob Devaney on loan from Man United. They're just checking to make sure it is a red on VAR, but this could be a hard night for Hearts. Hearts 0-0 against St Mirren.
They've collected 13 points out of their previous 15, unbeaten in 5, but they're going to have to do it the hard way if they're to get anything there against St Mirren. Chelsea meanwhile are attacking. Delap's early ball forward. Gusto in space with a cross, partially cleared by Arsenal. Martinelli edged behind by Fofana. That'll be a free kick to Arsenal. 15 minutes to go to the break, 0-0. Matt Upson.
Yeah, much quicker play there from Chelsea. Got it out to Delap, and all of a sudden had a little attempt, and it looked like he was driving with the ball. I do like the way that Liam Delap is just so direct. It's different to what Chelsea is. He'll get the ball and he will just go at people. He won't care if it ricochets off someone's shin and into his path. It doesn't have to be pretty all the time, but he's very aggressive in his decision making, and it brings a different dimension to Chelsea.
The fact that they have somebody like Esteval though waiting to come on, it's almost like keeping the ace card up your sleeve for later, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they both offer two completely different skill sets really, but both can be very effective. Esteval, who's been in brilliant form, would definitely be a player you'd say would be starting this game, wouldn't he, if he was fully available and ready.
Here is Martinelli, just inside the Arsenal half. Timber, the right back, has popped up left of the centre circle for the time being. Now it's with Rice for Arsenal. Martinelli had made the run, not spotted. He'd made that diagonal run off that left touchline, and Capier provides the width on the left. Here is Zubamendi collecting a forward ball. Rides the challenge of Gusto, lays it off towards to Gabriel inside the centre circle, and now finds Timber, who's still playing over on that left-hand side. He's left of the centre circle at the moment, so they've got a little bit of an overload on that side at this stage. Timber now has gone back into a central area. Eza passes the ball short and forward to Martinelli. Chelsea though have dropped off with every Royal Blue shirt back behind the ball. Timber seeing a lot of it at this stage. Now towards Rice. A sustained spell of passing from Arsenal, as here is Timber once again, and out towards Madueke. Closed down by Cucurella, who backpedals. Madueke runs forward. Cucurella still backpedals. Cross comes in, and Chelsea able to deal with that. João Pedro falls over, and that will be a free kick. That left Gabriel hopping mad.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one as a foul. Cucurella doing really well a moment ago with Madueke not allowing him any space or ability to get the cross in. And João Pedro, whose hold-up play under pressure has been great. He's really bought 2 or 3 fouls through top use of his body. He's playing against 2 centre-backs that do like to get the drop on you. They will go all the way in and tight, both Saliba and Gabriel, and he's coping with that really well, João Pedro.
Incidentally, that Craig Halkett red card did stand after the VAR check. So Hearts, the leaders, are down to 10. St Mirren 0, Hearts 0. Goalless here in North London. 12 minutes to go to half-time, 5 live. Tomorrow night we'll be at Manchester City for that semi-final against Newcastle, where they have a 2-goal advantage from St James's Park 3 weeks ago. Saliba's forward ball. Rice, Fofana closes him down. Ball will run out of play for an Arsenal throw. Half-time at Ewood Park. Sani Radradjala.
Blackburn Rovers 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Erin Cashin's goal on 12 minutes from a cross-come shot. The difference, it's been all Rovers in this first half who are looking for a first win in 8 games. Well, they're winless in 8 and they're leading at the break. Blackburn 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0.
Couldn't wish for better opposition, given Sheffield Wednesday's struggles in that respect, without a win in 24. A Sheffield Wednesday for what really has been a tough old season, particularly for their beleaguered supporters. As the ball goes long, Martinelli latches onto it. Martinelli into the area, turns. Martinelli gets the shot away. Excellent defending by Gusto. Got the block in to deny the left-footed effort from the Brazilian.
Well, he recovers, but it's so poor to begin with to allow Martinelli in. He gets so obsessed with Martinelli, he doesn't get his body shape right to see actually where the ball's going to go. Martinelli just runs while he's looking at him, and the ball's bouncing in behind him. Fair play to him, like you mentioned, Deno. He gets back and makes the tackle, but very nearly got caught out there, Gusto. It is very obsessed with Arsenal, isn't it? The Chelsea players are just really trying to block him out.
Gap down that left-hand side. Gyökeres picks it up, enters the area, right-footed shot on the run, blocks. And I think Zubamendi was offside. Yes, he was. Coming back from an offside position. I think it's fair to say, Fran, that he redeemed himself.
Yeah, he completely lost him. I mean, it's really, really intelligent from Martinelli, but he shouldn't have even been in position anyway to receive that ball. I think Gusto completely lost him off the shoulder. And it just shows as well that Martinelli's made a couple of them runs now that haven't really been picked out, and it just takes one moment.
Yeah.
And he actually should probably do better. I think he's got to sort out the first touch better and get a strike away. He allows Gusto to get back in. He allows him to have a second chance, which he shouldn't get.
Do you think like the Chelsea players are actually quite obsessed with where Arsenal are, aren't they? It's very much looking. That was a prime example. He's more worried about looking at Martinelli as to where the ball is.
Yeah, and I think because of the movement, there's so much movement that they're constantly having to communicate, check shoulders. You see your player run, and you go, I've got to follow him, but you just take your eye off the ball for 1 second.
Hull City 0, Watford 0 is a half-time score in the Championship. Half-time also at Bramall Lane. Nathan.
Half-time Sheffield United 1, Oxford 1. The home side, though, nearly turning the game on its head. Gus Harmer with a 25-yard curler, but it shook the raindrops off the crossbar. Bert Harrison Peck with the goals. Half-time Sheffield United 1, Oxford 1.
That Martinelli chance is actually only the second real chance of the game. They've both fallen to Arsenal. We saw that wonderful save from Sanchez to keep out the left-footed effort from Nkapie, flying away towards his right. Saliba's ball easily intercepted by Santos. To João Pedro, looks up, diagonal ball towards Delap, but Gabriel was alert and clears long. Told you it was 0-0 at Hull City. Chris Coles.
Surprisingly flat from Hull, not the half of a team going for 5 wins in a row. Watford dominating, Loser and Chakvetadze with good hits from range, one wide, the other well saved, and Fooney scraped the post with a header from a corner. Hull 0, Watford 0.
Delap collects the ball right corner of the penalty area. Chelsea are attacking. 0-0 it remains in this semi-final. Chelsea though trail on aggregate by 3-2. Every outfield player is in the Arsenal half. Chalobah, short and square. Santos forward, Fernandes. Hato to Cucurella on this near side, the left wing back, Mikel Arteta pacing up and down in that technical area, crouching, watching, feeling every kick it would seem, as he sees his side force Chelsea all the way back and eventually to their goalkeeper Robert Sanchez. An 8 o'clock kickoff, still the rain falls. Sanchez goes downfield, Timber heads it away from Cucurella, helped on by the head of Zubamendi, and then Gusto's header is going to force Delap out wide. He'll get there, and he falls over, and now it's with Nkapie, whose forward ball down that left flank tried to release Martinelli, but Fofana's anticipation, he was already reading that situation, gives it now towards Caicedo, who always makes such a positive difference for Chelsea.
Yeah, I mean, Fofana reads it well, but he shouldn't have the opportunity to get that pass, really. It's got to be better from Nkapie. Chances have been few and far between where Arsenal have got the ball the other side of Chelsea's midfielder and able to get in those channels or get kind of running in towards the corner of the 18-yard box. They just haven't happened. So when they are there, you've got to have the quality to get the pass off. I mean, I can't remember, I haven't seen an Arsenal midfield player with any time on the ball yet, have you? I mean, fairness to Chelsea, they're just denying them any space or ability to get their head up.
That was Hato picking the ball up in the centre of midfield, one of the 3 central defenders. He made a darting run forward as Chelsea now with Santos to Caicedo. Eza goes towards him. Fofana out towards that right side to Delap, gets the return ball from Gusto. Delap's cross then blocked, and it goes out for a Chelsea throw on the right. And it's taken quickly by Gusto. 2 balls on the pitch. Delap will kick the second ball away so play is able to continue. Caicedo to Chalobah. The Arsenal supporters have thrown it back onto the pitch. And here is Sanchez. Chalobah. Caicedo. Ball forward by Andre Santos. Challenge comes in from Gabriel on the back of Delap, gets his foot into it. Martinelli now picks it up and runs forward. Martinelli tries to run in between 2 Chelsea players, but again Fofana is there covering.
He's got to get past 4 players there, Martinelli, if he wants to do anything. I mean, the wide areas are just being completely snubbed out, and the likes of Eze and Gyökeres are really not seeing much of the ball in any attacking sense. So Arsenal cannot get any rhythm into their play at all, and it's a frustrating evening for Arsenal so far.
Just about to say, still that ball remains, and therefore Peter Banks has now spotted it, and he brings a stoppage to play. It's like Chelsea are suffocating Arsenal, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, and it looks like both teams are quite comfortable with the other team having the ball. I think Chelsea are getting into the final third and Arsenal going, all right, you can have it, we're going to force you all the way back to your goalkeeper. And Chelsea are doing quite similar when Arsenal get into their half. So it doesn't look like either team are stressing when they have the ball in the opposition half.
Frank Kirby and Matt Upson, who are with us here on BBC Radio 5 Live, 5 minutes to go to half-time. Here is Caicedo to Chalobah. Hato, short of the halfway line. Fran's point. The wise words of David Pleat just came into my head there.
Oh yeah.
Are you being forced back or are you sitting back?
Yeah.
And that is the difference for what Fran was saying. Where
Is it a choice or are you being forced?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, there's a caginess to the game, isn't there? So perhaps it's an element of the two. I think for Arsenal it's a little bit of the element of the unknown, and they obviously in a position where they haven't got to go all out because they're sitting on a lead. And as I mentioned to Fran a moment ago, there'll be a time where Chelsea will probably just completely switch this, but at the moment they are frustrating Arsenal, that is for sure.
And David, I know you'll be listening, and there is proof that I do listen to you. As the ball goes behind for a corner kick to Chelsea. 4 minutes to go to half-time. 0-0. Arsenal's aggregate from the first leg still stands 3-2. Enzo Fernandez is going to place the ball down in the quadrant. Cucurella and Hato are there as short options if required, so they've taken Rice and Madueke with them as a result. Peter Banks, the referee, tells Fernandez to hurry up with the corner kick. It's on this near side, the left. Now all of a sudden the message and the signal goes as Cucurella and Hato go into the penalty area. In it comes, fisted away by Kepa, drops on the edge of the area. The header from Santos is clipped on the half volley, but out of play by Madueke for a Chelsea throw.
I was looking at Saliba and João Pedro there, just wrestling the box. I mean, Saliba's got to be a little bit careful. I could see his shirt number. His back was facing the corner, and any of those kind of moments in the box now, if you're not looking at the ball, the referees are quite hot, or VAR are really hot on you not defending properly. You can't just turn and grapple with the player and have your back to the ball. I think you'll give a penalty away if you're not careful.
Pedro didn't bother going for the ball. He was coming back from an offside position, so he just stood there stationary and let it bounce past him and all the way through to Kepa.
I mean, other than the tactical surprise here, Denner, there's not a massive amount to get your teeth into, is there?
No.
In terms of action.
Well, don't worry, it'll be Kelly who's got to get her teeth into it. I've done my job in about 2.5 minutes' time. I'll let Kelly earn her corn, along with you two, of course.
Cheers for that.
It's all right, team player and everything.
Yeah, top man.
Yeah. 0-0. 5 Live. Here is Kepa. Saliba to his right. Madueke. There was Cucurella. Chelsea, though, looking to press and winning the ball. That was Caicedo, helped on then by Hato. Cucurella now on the inside. Referee's played the advantage. Opens up for Fernandez. Shoots right-footed. Kepa made the flying save. It was a comfortable save, though. Maybe one for the cameras.
He read it so early, didn't he?
Saw it coming.
He just knew exactly where that ball was going. He was on his way. If he'd have dragged that into the near post, he'd have been banging trouble, Kepa, because he went knowing that Enzo's going to try and whip that to the far post, and comfortable save in the end.
It was a right-footed effort, but with me jotting things down on my piece of paper, 43 minutes, that's their first shot on target. Unless you're going to correct me, Fran. Feel free to do so.
No, you're correct. I think Liam Delap had the one that went just wide earlier in the beginning of the game, but I think it's the first time Chelsea have got in the final third and they've gone with a pace. They've pressed high, they've won the ball back, but they've gone forward straight away. I think they've been comfortable just keeping the ball, loads of different passes here and there. They haven't really gone to attack, and it's the first time I've seen Enzo Fernandez actually drive with the ball and actually open himself up to shoot.
Here is Eze, right of the centre circle. We're about to enter the last 60 seconds of this first half. A goalless first half. Free kick there, foul. João Pedro on Timber. Wimbledon, incidentally, it was an early kick-off. I think it was a 7 o'clock kick-off at Vale Park. Port Vale 0, AFC Wimbledon 1, a goal in the 88th minute. So Port Vale, who are bottom of the table, fallen behind there, and well, they are well adrift at the foot of League One. 5 Live, League Cup semi-final. Ball into the penalty area. Eza, he'd made the run, and then it just wouldn't sit for him. That bouncing ball, it was certainly that chest height as he tried to flick it with his right foot.
A nice spot, nice idea, but I think Arsenal are just trying to get the ball in the box now and actually just play forwards and try and get players into the box. There have been very few touches from Arsenal players in Chelsea's box in this first half.
Peter Banks is going to give a free kick to Chelsea. Oh,
drop ball.
Well, it's got to be an uncontested drop ball, hasn't it, in favour of Chelsea, surely? Yeah. Andre Santos, he actually took the ball out of the referee's hand.
Yeah.
He said, no, it doesn't look like that.
Talking of hands, are your hands all right?
Yeah, they're fine, thank you.
Yeah. Are they warm enough?
Oh, they've been warmer.
If you had what? Some of those electric hand-warming gloves?
I'm not allowed
Did you slip them in your pocket?
I'm not allowed to wear them. They interfere with the microphones. I was told off by the engineer.
I can't believe you're wearing them.
They're a gift from Paul Robinson.
A lad from up north like you.
I know.
Putting electric warming gloves on.
I'm getting old.
Can't believe it.
Getting old. 1 minute of stoppage time we were into. Just don't tell John Murray.
Wow, it's out there now.
Here is Enzo Fernandez. They'll be going on at half-time, I can guarantee you that. Santos, João Pedro. Slick, incisive passing from Chelsea. João Pedro now to the left corner of the area. 3 Arsenal players were towards him. He managed to get the ball out to the left. Caicedo picks out the run of Cucurella. Tried to lay it off then towards Santos. And there is the 60 seconds of stoppage time as Peter Banks looks at his watch and blows his whistle. And in the pouring rain, it is half-time. And it is Arsenal 0, Chelsea 0, so 3-2 that Arsenal lead. They're 45 minutes away from Wembley. Sanchez with a flying save from Nketiah. Martinelli had an effort blocked by Gusto, and Fernandez before the break. Kepa made a flying save. Fran and Matt won't go anywhere because Kelly has got to get her teeth into this. 0-0.
Oh, well, not necessarily my teeth, but I was going to get Matt and Fran to get their teeth into it, because Matt's the one who described this. I mean, you're right, not been many chances at either end, but it's not been a boring match despite that, because as you said, there is tactical intrigue.
There is. I mean, you could sit and pick that apart.
Go on.
in many different ways. Well, why? Why has Liam Rosenior done what he's done? I think that's a good question to think about. Why would he set Chelsea up like that? For me, I think a big factor is just understanding what Arsenal's strengths are and trying to nullify that. And he's done it really, really well. They've had no ball in their wide players. Madueke, Martinelli, OK, they've made a few runs inside, but really, you're normally seeing those players with time, lining up 1v1s, getting into the box, making things happen. They can't get crosses in. The pressure's in the midfield, so when the ball's on one side, the wing-backs then coming all the way into midfield, nobody's getting any time on the ball. They're shuffling positions really nicely. I have to say, he's got them well drilled in such a short period of time to work with these players and to get them to perform a different system as well as what they have done, Chelsea, is quite impressive. So for me, I'm waiting for the gear change. I'm waiting for Chelsea to all of a sudden go, right, we have to now do something because we're running out of time and we're 1 goal down. And I think when that happens, we'll see it open right up.
We saw them have a few chances just towards the end of that first half. Chelsea starting to maybe push for that goal. But the other thing that was very interesting to watch was what happened when Arsenal got a corner. This is something, I know you mentioned it in commentary, Deno mentioned it in commentary, that Shay Given pointed out on Match of the Day, which is that suddenly 3 Chelsea players ran towards the halfway line. Talk us through that, Fran.
Yeah, it's obviously just trying something different, trying to disrupt their structure, disrupt what they've obviously planned throughout the whole week. It was interesting because the ref actually stopped the game when Chelsea ran forward. I think he'd seen some jostling in the penalty box. It would have been interesting if Arsenal didn't have the time to work out who's going, because you could see they were looking at the set piece codes and going, who's going back, am I going back? If they didn't have that time, it would have been interesting to see how they would have set up.
It's almost like he spoilt it, didn't it?
Exactly. It's kind of like the ref went, oh, hold on a second, I see some jostling, let's stop the play, and then Arsenal could figure it out. And then obviously they did it again on the next corner. But I felt in that moment when Arsenal got the corner, after it, they had a little bit of momentum. It's like they felt a little bit, we got a corner, the crowd lifted a little bit and they got a little bit of momentum from it. But other than that, it's been quite a really good tactical battle, I think. You've seen both teams try and cancel each other out a little bit rather than try and exploit each other. I think it's been really interesting to see Liam Delap on the right-hand side, and I think what Matt said, that he's got him drilled playing, and also players playing out of position. Liam Delap being on the right-hand side, Enzo Fernandez being on the left-hand side. They're not normally in them kind of positions, so for them to understand the role going into this game was really important because of the calibre of players that Arsenal have.
But the managers have had a bit of time to assess what the opposition is doing, so there might well be changes in the second half. Maybe not in personnel, but maybe in the way that they set up for that second half. Frank Kirby, Matthew Upson, Ian Dennis here at the Emirates will bring you second half commentary, of course. A big game, meanwhile, in the Scottish Premiership this evening between Hearts and St Mirren. Bringing us up to date with that one, it's Kenny Crawford.
Half-time score, Kelly, is St Mirren 0, 10-man Hearts 0. A chaotic first half despite it being goalless. Hearts were already finding it tough before the 29th minute when they were reduced to 10 men. Craig Halkett, the captain, sent off for a last-ditch foul on Man United loanee Jacob Devaney. St Mirren went on to hit the post through Alex Gogic. Then, right at the end of that first half, thought they had a penalty, only for VAR to turn it over because the foul was on the edge of the box and just outside the box, so it was a free kick instead. So half-time score, St Mirren 0, 10-man Hearts 0.
We'll keep you up to date with everything that's happening in that match this evening across the EFL and, of course, in this EFL Cup semi-final second leg at the Emirates, where it's 0-0 between Arsenal and Chelsea. Arsenal 3-2 up from the first leg in this one. Time now, though, for the latest BBC News here on 5 Live with Giuliano Cassidy.
The voice of the UK. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The Metropolitan Police has launched a criminal investigation following claims that Lord Mandelson passed market-sensitive information to Jeffrey Epstein. Lord Mandelson is to step down from the House of Lords tomorrow following the allegations. Our political editor Chris Mason has been following things.
It's my understanding that he doesn't believe he has acted in any way criminally, that he was acting in the national interest. It's his view, I'm told, that in his dealings with Jeffrey Epstein, particularly during the financial crisis, dealing with Epstein, a man who had knowledge and expertise in banking, was worthwhile.
Thames Valley Police says it's assessing the information after the BBC reported a second woman alleged that she was sent to the UK by Jeffrey Epstein for a sexual encounter with Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. Her lawyer, Brad Edwards, has told BBC News we're talking about at least one woman who was sent by Jeffrey Epstein over to Prince Andrew, and she even had, after a night out with Prince Andrew, a tour of Buckingham Palace. The encounter allegedly occurred at the former Prince's residence, Royal Lodge, in 2010. The woman, who is not British, was in her 20s at the time. BBC News has previously asked Andrew Mountbatten Windsor for comment about the claims, but so far he has not responded to these accusations. He's previously strongly denied any wrongdoing. The US military says its forces have shot down an Iranian drone which was acting aggressively and had approached a Navy aircraft carrier in the Arabian Sea. The unmanned device had flown towards the USS Abraham Lincoln, about 500 miles from the southern coast of Iran. And police in Greater Manchester have confirmed that 2 people have died in a light aircraft crash in Rochdale. The plane came down over farmland this morning. Officers say 2 men were pronounced dead at the scene.
Skis cutting through snow at breathtaking speed. Snowboards spinning in ways never seen before. Skeleton sleds pushing the limits. Making history, breaking records, and taking home gold. Trails will blaze. The Winter Olympics starts Friday. Watch on iPlayer. Listen on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sports with Kelly Cates. Listen on BBC Sounds.
We're at the Emirates this evening for live commentary of Arsenal against Chelsea in the League Cup semi-finals second leg. Arsenal 3-2 up from the first leg. It is 0-0 at half-time in this second leg. In the Women's Super League, Manchester City now huge favourites to win their first title since 2016. They are 11 points clear of second place Manchester United after they beat Chelsea 5-1 at the Etihad on Sunday. On the latest Women's Football Weekly podcast, Jen Beattie and Ellen White discussed what City have done so well well this season?
I think we're finally seeing the team that we always knew had the potential. I feel like I've spoken to them a number of years now that if they keep everyone fit, they can win the league. And I feel like now we're finally seeing that, not just everyone back fit, but performing incredibly well. And I don't think we hyped up that game at 100%. Everyone was looking for that, but I don't think anyone expected that scoreline. Clinical and ruthless, and I think that's what you have to be when you're playing up against a top team. So they absolutely smashed it.
I think as well, from a Man City perspective, I feel like the DNA was always like play beautiful football and have this philosophy of possessing the ball. And I feel like something's changed this season. It's about winning games. And yes, they want to play beautiful football as well, but the priority is 3 points. And obviously they've put all their eggs in the basket in terms of winning the title as well. There's a lot of things that have come together this season for them. But yeah, I just think fair play to them. Structurally behind the scenes there's a lot changed as well, but they seem to be in a good place right now. It was a really lovely game to watch. So there's one more thing I think you'll find this funny.
Will we?
The players were all running around Yeah, okay. The players will go around the pitch and Lauren Hemp was like, Ellen, I've got a bone to pick with you. I was like, oh, go on then. She went, third? What are you saying? We're going to get third this season, did you? And I was
did you put that on your predictions?
I think I put third. And I said, you were 17 points behind Chelsea last season, Hemp. I think third was quite complimentary, to be honest. But I said, hands up, mate, you've won the title already. I said, and she was like, okay, fair enough.
Well, if anyone knows about winning WSL titles, it is Frank Kirby, who's with us here at the Emirates this evening. What did you make of that performance by City on Saturday, and what is said about what they've managed to achieve this season already?
It was ruthless. It was absolutely ruthless. It was a team. I watched the game in the week before that they played in the Cup game, and Man City dominated that game, but Chelsea came away with a 1-0. And I remember going into this game now, I had a feeling that it was going to end up this way. And I think when Manchester City scored the goal, I was like, this can become 2, 3, 4 because of the form that they're in, the players that they've got, and the way that they are playing. It's not the Manchester City that we've seen in previous years and keeping the possession, keeping the ball. It was, we're going to go and score a goal. We're going to dominate you and we're going to keep going and going. I think normally you go 2-1 and they'd maybe take their foot off the gas, and there was none of that. They wanted to dominate Chelsea and they really, really did that.
From Chelsea's point of view, it's been a real dip so far this season. Are you concerned that they might end up just fighting for a Champions League place?
Yeah, I mean, it's looking like that. It really is, and it's disappointing. But look, I think, we can talk all we want about, City dominating, and Chelsea have won this league 6 times in a row. There's going to come a point where they're not going to win it, and it's going to be someone else that's going to get their name on the trophy. It's very, very disappointing as an ex-Chelsea player, and obviously for Chelsea players who are there at the moment, because for me it's not the results that are the issue, it's the performances. It's the way that they're setting up. They're looking around the players. They don't look in sync. They don't look like they're working together, or they know what each other are doing. They're turning around. Are you pressing? Am I pressing? That's more concerning for me watching from the outside, because like you said, if they keep falling further down the pecking order, then you might not even get a Champions League spot, and that for Chelsea, that can't happen.
Fran, we'll be back with you very shortly for this game here at the Emirates. The 2026 Six Nations kicks off this week. Every Home Nations match is available to listen to on BBC Sounds. England begin their campaign against Wales at the Allianz Stadium on Saturday at 4:40. Captain Maro Itoje will be on the bench after missing the start of England's preparations to attend his mother Florence's funeral in Nigeria. Speaking on the latest episode of the Rugby Union Weekly podcast, Vice-Captain Ellis Genge told Chris Jones that the squad will give their full support to Itoje.
I imagine he probably doesn't want everyone acting differently around him. I certainly haven't. I spoke to him a few weeks back, sent my support, but don't think whatever age you are, whatever environment you're in, anyone can fathom until they've been through it themselves what that hardship looks like and how you react. And yeah, Maz is cracking on, not seemingly affected by his work capacity, and obviously you got to give people space, haven't you? So I think he's very aware that everyone will be here to support him if he ever needed it, but at the same time it's one of them. I think rugby can be or sport in general can be a good sort of distraction from what's going on outside.
And Steve Borthwick made the point that when he does come on and he waits on the touchline, he'll get an amazing reaction from the
Twickenham crowd. Of course he will, and as he should. He's soon to be 100, a centurion for his country, and deserve every accolade he gets and every round of applause he demands, yeah.
That was England Vice-Captain Ellis Genge there. You can hear the latest episode of the Rugby Union Weekly podcast right now on BBC Sounds And our Six Nations coverage gets underway on Thursday evening as defending champions France host Ireland in Paris. Former Olympic champion skier Lindsey Vonn says she's confident she will be able to compete at the Winter Olympics. That's despite rupturing her ACL in a World Cup event on Friday. She's 41 years old and will be competing at her 5th Games after returning to the sport in 2024 after a 5-year retirement. The downhill event takes place in Cortina on Sunday.
We have been doing extensive therapy, been consulting with doctors, been in the gym, and today I went skiing. And considering how my knee feels, it feels stable, I feel strong. My knee is not swollen, and with the help of a knee brace, I am confident that I can compete on Sunday. So this is not obviously what I had hoped for. I've been working really hard to come into these games in a much different position. I know what my chances were before the crash, and I know my chances aren't the same as it stands today, but I know there's still a chance. And as long as there's a chance, I will try.
And the Winter Olympics begins this weekend. You can watch live coverage and highlights of all major events across the BBC. Coverage, interviews and reaction will be on BBC Radio 5 Live throughout the games, and the BBC Sport website and app will have live text pages and reports, plus day-by-day guides, explainers, medal tables and features to keep you across. Let's bring you up to date with what's happening across the world of football this evening in the Scottish Premiership. It's half-time in the game between St Mirren and Hearts. Rangers and Celtic both play tomorrow, so there's an opportunity for Hearts to go 9 points clear at the top of the Scottish Premiership table. At the moment, though, they are goalless and down to 10 men at St Mirren. In the Championship, Blackburn are 1-0 up against Sheffield Wednesday. Hull City 0, Watford 0. Portsmouth against Ipswich was postponed. Sheffield United 1, Oxford United 1. All these games kicked off at 7:45. In League One, it's already finished with Port Vale losing 1-0 at home to AFC Wimbledon. It's Barnsley 1, Northampton 1. That one a 7:45 kick-off. Burton Albion also a 7:45 kick-off. They trailed Doncaster by 2-0. 7:45 kick-offs as well in League Two, where it's Barnet 1, Crewe 1, Bristol Rovers 0, Walsall 0, Harrogate 0, Swindon 0, Notts County 1, Gillingham 0, and in the National League it's Altrincham 1, Morecambe 1, Forest Green 2, Woking 2, Rochdale 3, Boreham Wood 0, and in the Scottish Championship it's goalless between Queen's Park and Ross County. We're at the Emirates this evening for Arsenal against Chelsea, goalless at half-time, but Arsenal lead this one by 3-2 from the first leg. Chelsea boss Liam Rosenior will be probably edge it in terms of being the happier manager at half-time in this game. They've managed to contain Arsenal. Very few chances at either end, but it has been an intriguing first half. So will we see differences in the second half? Looks like it's the same 11 coming out for both sides at the start of this second half here at the Emirates. Your commentary team, Frank Kirby, is alongside Matthew Upson and Ian Dennis.
Thank you, Lady Kelly. You've done my work for me. Yes, no changes made at half-time, so I'll run through the two teams. Kepa in goal, Timber, Gabriel, Saliba and Nkapie, Rice, Sibamendi, Madueke, Eza, Martinelli and Gyökeres. Remember, there is no Ødegaard, but a slight issue. Estevao is on the bench for Chelsea, and they line up with Sanchez in goal, a back three of Fofana, Chalobah and Hato, Cucurella and Gusto are the wing-backs, Caicedo, Fernandes, Santos in the midfield, and then Delap and João Pedro. And Chelsea have just gone and formed a huddle inside the centre circle as the second half is about to resume. So they're in their royal blue shirts and shorts and white socks. Arsenal will be playing from right to left in this second half. Red and white shirts, white shorts. Our referee is Peter Banks. You and Fran, Matt, were speculating at times in that first half when Chelsea have to go for it. Nobody's cut loose yet in what has been a tight first half.
No, and I'm not sure it'll happen any time soon, to be honest. I've got this feeling that it suits Chelsea in a way to have this kind of jeopardy of just that one goal for as long as possible, and then if they have that time period where they can really switch up and throw something at Arsenal, we'll have to wait and see.
João Pedro, good footwork, got the shot away, sliced it a little bit though, came off an Arsenal body on the way through, and Kepa had to take desperate action to try and keep the ball in play and failed to do so. So in front of the travelling support in that far corner, as we sit quite high up here in the main stand, left of the halfway line. Chelsea playing from left to right have got a corner far side the left. Bristol Rovers lead Walsall by a 1-0 in League Two. It's going to be an in-swinging corner this for Chelsea. In it comes now. Kepa's dropped it at his near post, a bit of a scramble, and it pops out wide. That could have probably gone anywhere.
I thought he was going in the back of the net when I saw it ricochet. I mean, it was a real kerfuffle. Chelsea doing what Arsenal tend to do best, really whipped in. Kepa couldn't deal with it. It was a horrible height. And then it just bounced off, I think it's Delap maybe, and gone behind the back of the goal. But really good delivery and a little wobbly moment for Arsenal.
It was just a moment's check of VAR there. Peter Banks having a look at it.
Yeah, it's Saliba and
João
Pedro again. I mentioned it in the first half. The way he's defending up against him, both arms are around him. This time he's looking at the ball, and they tend to both go down. But he's running the risk, Saliba. He's got to be careful the way he manages João Pedro in that box.
Well, the VAR official is James Bell at Stockley Park. It's a throw which Caicedo receives quickly and quickly comes under pressure. And Gyökeres now tries to squeeze the ball inside to Eze, to Martinelli. Coming across though was Chalobah. Last touch off the knees of Martinelli. And it goes behind for a goal kick. Estevao. See a glimpse of Estevao getting stripped.
Looks like he's getting ready, doesn't it, to come on, which would be interesting. I mean, Arsenal just pouncing on that ball there. Good pressure onto Caicedo. Turn the ball over, but can't quite get the passes off quick enough to find the space for a good effort on goal. Ends up being a half chance that Chalobah just deals with.
Barnsley have come from behind in League One. They lead Northampton Town by 2-1 at Oakwell. Nkapie waits to take a throw on this near side. The Arsenal left. Goes back to Gabriel. Still goalless in this second leg. Both managers are out in their technical area. As Saliba to Timber. Madueke tries to outrun Hato, who recovers and gets back goal side. Madueke passes the ball in field, Zubamendi. Now with Gabriel left of the centre circle. Runs forward with the ball. João Pedro tries to hold him off. Chelsea quick to get back in numbers with those royal blue shirts. And now with Zubamendi outside the centre circle. Eze passes the ball back out wide. Closed down Madueke by Cucurella. Comes on the inside, delivers the cross. It's dropping, but dropping too deep. And out of play for a goal kick. Fran.
Yeah, it's been a better start, I think, from both teams. Both teams look a lot more aggressive. I think bringing Estevao on will be a good change for Chelsea, bringing them something else in the dynamic. And then also, you know, you've got likes of Garnacho and Cole Palmer who also can come into the game and bring something for Chelsea on the ball. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a lot faster start than it was in the first half.
That's the kind of thing you'd expect to see, isn't it? Madueke facing up Cucurella, 1v1s, crosses coming in. You know, start of the second half, it does feel a little bit more open.
Arsenal, remember, are looking to end their semi-final hoodoo. They've been eliminated from their last 4 semi-finals in all competitions. As Gyökeres bursts forward, Martinelli's on the inside, but Chalobah cut off that avenue. Looked to try and whip it across first time left-footed, but it was blocked off the England defender. From a throw for Arsenal. Rice now. But it's Gusto who closes him down. It will be another Arsenal throw that is handed to Nkapie by Estevao, who warms up with his green bib. Already visible. Tracksuit bottoms are off, the shorts are on. Estevao waiting. Potential game changer for Chelsea. 0-0, 5 minutes into the second half. BBC Radio 5 Live and the BBC Sounds app. Bristol Rovers 2, Walsall 0. Despite being 7th, there was a chance that Walsall could have moved level with third place Salford tonight. However, with Bristol Rovers now leading 2-0 with 2 goals in the space of 4 minutes, they might have to wait to climb up the table. Here is Delap, using his strength, helping the ball towards Caicedo. Midway through the Chelsea half, Chalobah passes the ball towards Enzo Fernandez. Zubamendi is quick to close him down. Referee has a look at it and then gives a free kick to Chelsea. Despite André Santos wanting to take it quickly, he was unable to do so.
I quite like the way the referee kind of left that wanting the game to flow and play on there. He realised that he couldn't eventually and had to pull it back, but I think he's tried to let this game flow.
Those semi-finals, incidentally, were last year as Fofana digs the ball out. The League Cup semi where they lost to Newcastle. The Champions League semi-final to Paris Saint-Germain. Previously 2022, another League Cup semi-final, this time against Liverpool. And then before that, it was a Europa League semi-final against Villarreal. Looking for a first final in 6 years are Arsenal. There's been another goal in the Championship at Bramall Lane. Nathan Albert.
Where Sheffield United have turned this game around. 2-1 they lead Oxford. Really neat footwork from Andre Brooks. Got the ball onto his left foot and curled it into the corner. 3-3 for him. Sheffield United 2, Oxford 1.
Oxford United 5 points from safety in one of the relegation positions in the Championship. 0-0 in this League Cup semi-final. Tomorrow, John Murray and Michael Brown will be at the Etihad for Manchester City against Newcastle. As Gusto in a foot race back with Martinelli, got there first, but then Martinelli has got to the ball now and tries to help out with Nkapie. Thrown to the floor by Delap. Referee lets it flow. Thus the annoyance of the Arsenal supporters starting to bubble up rather nicely. And so much to play for. João Pedro then has his legs taken away from underneath him by Nkapie, and that free kick is given.
Well, it's like it needed a little passage of play like that just to get this stadium going into this game. It's certainly more lively in the second half. I think it looked like a foul for me. Delap back on Nkapie. Referee didn't give it, and then all of a sudden it just spiralled. João Pedro, and now Mikel Arteta, having serious words with the fourth official, picks up a yellow card in the technical area.
Mikel Arteta was in the face of the fourth official, Thomas Bramall. Peter Banks spotted it, and the Arsenal manager has been shown a yellow card. You can hear what it's done to the crowd. It's fired up the Arsenal supporters. The volume has increased. Towards the end, actually, Arteta was actually sharing a joke with Thomas Bramall, but the damage had been done in the eyes of the match official. So he's been booked. His name is being sung by the Arsenal supporters. 0-0 in this second leg. We've been playing for 8 minutes in this second period. I will be amazed if it finishes 0-0.
I was going to say, what are the chances of this being a 0-0 draw?
Sooner or later, there's going to be a switch in this game. As the ball goes long from Sanchez, but Timber was watchful to head it away.
I mean, look at the benches. I mean, there's so much talent to come on and impact a game, isn't there?
Enzo Fernandez leaves it now for Caicedo, gives it back to Fernandez. There's no width on that far side, the left. Cucurella has actually gone into a very central area, the left wing back. Delap challenged by Gabriel, free kick.
I mean, Gabriel just bundling his way through players. He does that quite a lot. I mean, this is not a great area to concede a free kick. It's just about 15 yards short of the 18-yard box and just wide of it on the right-hand side. It's got a nice angle to put a ball in the box, and I'm looking down to the left there. Now there's a lot of activity, subs. Calafiori, that's Cole Palmer with his tracksuit bottoms are off, so Esteban Palmer looking ready to go on at any moment for Chelsea.
Liam Rosenior pacing in that rather expansive technical area down below with his white pump, still getting across his instructions. It's a free kick to Chelsea. It's 10 yards in from the right touchline. It's just under 30 yards out from goal. It remains goalless here on the night. Enzo Fernandez is to take it. Arsenal have got everybody back. Fernandez, right arm aloft, right-footed free kick. It's a teasing one in, headed out. Only as far as Hato, quickly closed down by Eza. Breaks towards Madueke on that far side, has to climb high. Oh, that was a needless kick out. I think he was caught by Delap, and a yellow card is shown to the Chelsea forward.
Not a great tackle. It's a late trip more than anything. It doesn't kick him. Madueke gets there full. The ball's bouncing out of play around the halfway line. He touches it up the line. He's got the momentum to run after it. in Delap just sticks his right foot out and just kicks him in a trip fashion to take Madueke out. Just a yellow card.
Bubbling up nicely, Fran, isn't it?
Yeah, it needed it. It needed a little bit of life. It needed people to get a little bit nasty with one another. That's what we want to feel in these games. But also it's interesting because in the first half it was a lot of short passes where we've seen a lot of long ball. In this second half it's just forced the opposition to drop back so they can't just be in their block all the time, and it's really opened up the game and made the spaces a lot bigger.
Big fan of the League Cup, and you certainly can't tell me that this competition doesn't matter to either side, because there is so much riding on it. As a slip from Santos and allows Saliba to carry the ball out of defence. He's over the halfway line. He's midway through the Chelsea half. Gives it to Madueke in full flight. Cucurella backpedals, enters the penalty area. And then it was like a cross-come shot in the end, wasn't it? It was gathered in by Sanchez with both hands.
Yeah, I thought he was going to the far post, but ended up going to the near post. Had it gone far post, I think it would have posed a much bigger problem to Chelsea, but comfortable for Sanchez to come and claim both hands in the end.
Chelsea, incidentally, have progressed from each of their last 3 semi-finals in this competition. They might have lost the final when they got there, but they've got a good record of navigating their way through. However, they are still behind in the tie. Northampton Town, and it's the son of Sean Dyche. Max Dyche has got a late equaliser for Northampton. Barnsley 2, Northampton Town 2, and Burton Albion have got a goal back. Burton Albion 1, Doncaster Rovers 2. So 2 latest scores in League One. We're approaching the hour mark, and a double change. Estevao and Palmer are going to be coming on. Not even the hour mark has been reached here at the Emirates. Not bad to bring those 2 players on, Frank Kirby.
Yeah, I think he can see the game's opening up. There's a lot more space in the possession now for Chelsea, and he knows that these are the 2 players. Cole Palmer especially is someone who wants to get the ball, he wants to get in the pockets, he wants to turn, he wants to drive, he wants to find them passes. And Estevao will come on and bring some fresh legs. I think Chelsea have done a lot of work in this second half, especially with the distances getting bigger and bigger. So I think bringing him on is another fear factor for Chelsea.
What will be interesting, Matt, is actually who comes off, whether it dictates a change of the shape.
That's what I'm just thinking. I'm looking at Delap, thinking maybe he'll come off for Estevao as a straight swap. We'll have to wait and see.
Gyökeres goes in search of the ball, but it's marshalled safely behind and out for a goal kick. We wondered when Liam Rosenior would make the change. Good atmosphere though now. Gusto's actually down at the moment for Chelsea. Liam Rosenior was going to make the change. He's seen that Gusto sat down, and he's just gone back to have a word with his bench.
Yeah. Well, that's wise, isn't it? Because he's not sure what the problem is here. He wants some medical attention, Gusto. So it may well have to change his plans, Liam Rosenior. But we have a cup tie now, Denner, don't it? Feels more like a cup tie.
Well, Gusto's getting treatment at the moment. In the previous 10 seasons, I worked out that 15 clubs who had gained a first leg lead, 11 of those have gone on to reach the final. That doesn't include the year of 2021 when it was single semi-finals after COVID. And Arsenal at the moment still are in pole position to either meet Manchester City or Newcastle at Wembley on the 22nd of March. Stoppage in play then here. Into the Championship we go. Hull City, Watford, Chris Coles.
Into the final 20 minutes, Hull 0, Watford 0. Watford still the much better side. Imran loses, missed a glorious chance inside the box, arriving at speed, steered it just wide. The best chance of the match, couldn't take it. Hull 0, Watford 0.
Javi Gracia resigned as the Watford manager yesterday. Valerian Ismail left Blackburn Rovers. They're at home to Sheffield Wednesday. Sunny Rudavachala.
Where they are winning 1-0 with 14 minutes to go, but Jamal Lowe from a corner right at the start of the second half managed to hit the bar for Sheffield Wednesday, who haven't scored in 8 games and remain bottom of the league. It's Blackburn 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0.
And Nathan Albon at Bramall Lane.
Well, 15 minutes to go, Ian. Sheffield United 2, Oxford 1, and Blackburn's lead makes Sheffield United's lead even more important. Blades, as it stands, keeping that 7-point buffer on the relegation zone. Sheffield United 2, Oxford 1.
So Estevao comes on for Delap. Hato is the other player who's gone off for Cole Palmer. We won't actually help because the electronic board of the fourth official was only showing one half of the digits.
Yeah, he's told Achapong to get ready to go on as well, so he's now coming out with his shorts on and warming up, so I think that will be another change to happen soon.
So when Gusto comes back onto the field of play, they've gone to a back four then, with Gusto, Fofana, Chalobah and then Cucurella as a left back.
Looks like it. It looks like this is the switch, this is the moment where they're going to maybe just open it up a little bit more and take a bit of a gamble.
Esteban at the moment is playing on the left-hand side, Palmer behind João Pedro. Madueke runs forward, still 0-0. Right-hand side for Arsenal at that Chelsea penalty area. Cucurella clears downfield, headed forward by Saliba, slipped by Esteban, kept in play by Madueke on the right-hand side. It's just gone up a notch, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Much more. It's nowhere near as cagey.
Ball lifted forward, Gyökeres. Touch takes him out wide right. Challenge from behind. Referee Peter Banks doesn't give the free kick. Mikel Arteta on a yellow card, has to contain himself. He restrains himself by folding his arms as if to say, do not say anything, Mikel.
Yeah, he's a straitjacket, isn't he? Just don't do anything, don't gesture. Just, walks back to his bench. You can tell he's itching to say something, but doesn't.
Gusto showing no ill effects of that injury that he'd picked up. Fofana able to turn back towards Sanchez. The goalkeeper returns it to Wesley Fofana. Gyökeres is there, but he plays the ball across his own penalty area towards Chalobah. Enzo Fernandez then comes short. Andre Santos has gone forward, he's taken Eza with him. They're looking to try and find Palmer, and here is Palmer in that pocket of space as he drifts out towards that left-hand side where Esteban waits. And the young Brazilian gets the ball to feet. Still 0-0. Just over 62 minutes played here on 5 Live. Here now is Wesley Fofana with pace out towards Gusto. Gusto looks to go on the outside of Nkapie. Back in field to Caicedo. Returns the ball to Gusto. Nkapie comes back at the second time of asking, behind it goes for a corner.
Well, slightly heavier weighted pass there would have put Gusto right in a good position. It was slightly soft, gives Nkapie a chance to come back, get his shoulder in and win the challenge, but Cole Palmer could be the difference here for me. He's in that number 10 position, he's just hunting the ball and he's got the freedom to go wherever he wants. He's a player that Arsenal need to keep an eye on. How they deal with him, we'll have to wait and see, but he looks like he's just drifting at the moment, Cole Palmer, wherever he wants to on the pitch.
We're in the company of Frank Kirby and Matt Upson here tonight at the Emirates on BBC Radio 5 Live. Fernandez with the corner kick. Flashes all the way through the penalty area, comes out to Cucurella, who hits it or tries to left-footed curling effort, couldn't keep it down. Scored his first goal against West Ham United of the season at the weekend. Contributed 7 goals last season, but that was never going to really trouble Kepa in the Arsenal goal.
No, it's hopeful. He tries to whip it with his left foot. I mean, he's going right for the top corner and is well over the crossbar, but he looks to be settled back into that left-back position now. Cucurella, Chelsea in the normal lineup as you'd expect.
Six Nations starts this weekend. Well, actually it starts on Thursday night, and live coverage from 7 of that opening game, France against Ireland. Saturday afternoon before England-Wales in the Six Nations. Arsenal Sunderland from 3 o'clock here will be our 3 o'clock game, and the usual goal service as part of 5 Live Sport. And on Sunday, Brighton against Crystal Palace, Brighton and Hove Albion. Liverpool, that's at 2. Liverpool, Manchester City, our commentary at 4:30. Manchester City, Newcastle tomorrow evening here on 5 Live. 0-0 though at the moment in this second leg. Arsenal still lead 3-2 on aggregate. Palmer picks it up, controls it along the ground, threads it forward to Enzo Fernandez, quickly towards Esteban. Cucurella powers on the underside of him, into the penalty area goes Esteban, pulls it back to the edge of the area. Fernandez with a shot, right-footed, dipping over the top of the crossbar. Fran, when you look at Chelsea like that, they had so many options.
Yeah, it's just given a little bit more calmness bringing Cole Palmer on the pitch. I think he's the one that's going to find them spaces in the middle of the park. When they do win the ball back, he's free every time, because Arsenal aren't squeezing up together as a back line. It's just allowing him to have that pocket in there, and he can get it and he can turn, and he has the quality to do it. And it's interesting now on the goal kick, Chelsea have gone man for man, which in the first half they were dropping off a little bit more and letting Arsenal have the ball. So they've definitely stepped up when they've made the substitutions.
0-0. Do you still have a feeling we've got extra time?
Yeah, well, I just feel Arsenal have to exploit the fact that Cole Palmer is on the pitch. He does have the freedom to go where he wants. He's looking for the ball all the time, but he's not going to bring the same going the other way. And I think Arsenal need to really try and capitalise on that. But Chelsea doing a good job of pressing high up, and Zubamendi just giving the ball away.
The tension's building. Chelsea were pressing there, and Arsenal have been forced to give the ball away with a throw, and all of a sudden you can feel that apprehension building inside the stadium. Here is João Pedro, tries to release the ball infield to Santos. Stepping out of defence was Nkapie. They need a calming presence. There is no Ødegaard. Imagine if he could come off the bench now, the Arsenal captain, but he's missing tonight. And at the minute, 0-0. Arsenal with Gabriel. Shrugs off the challenge of João Pedro, doesn't get the distance he wanted with his clearance, goes straight to Cucurella. Caicedo plays it forward, João Pedro was there, Gabriel went with him, and João Pedro's looking for a foul there. He was saying there was an arm across from Gabriel.
Yeah, there was an arm across, but no need for your legs to collapse underneath you. And I think the referee saw it for what it was, an attempt to win a foul or a free kick, or was right on the edge of the penalty box, and referee right on it straight away. But Gabriel was complaining about the initial decision, spent too long on the floor, and then was out of position, had to really work hard to get back in, and was the wrong side when that ball went through. Puts his arm on João Pedro, then he collapses. But you can tell there's, 66 minutes into the game, there's going to be a few little tired decisions, and maybe the legs aren't quite as fresh as what they need to be.
Gyökeres, right corner of the area with the cross, headed up rather than away. This is Nkapie, inside the area, clips over the cross, claimed by Sanchez. There's activity on the Arsenal bench. Trossard and Havertz are going to be coming on. We're midway through the second half. It remains 0-0, and Arsenal still have the advantage. Another goal in the Championship at Bramall Lane, Nathan Albon.
That should be that for Sheffield United. 3-1 they now lead. Oxford, Chidozie Ogbene taking the ball down on his chest and slotting it into the corner. Sheffield United 3, Oxford 1.
Now Nkapie, the referee is shown a yellow card for Gusto for a dive. Trying to deceive the referee as he nudged the ball past Nkapie, kept the ball in play.
Yeah, I think he's spot on as well. There's certainly no contact. There's no complaints at all from Chelsea. It was a blatant dive and deserves a yellow card.
So whilst this double change is made for Arsenal, let's find out how the 10 men of Hearts are coping in Paisley. Kenny Crawford.
They're doing quite well, Ian. Still St Mirren nil, 10-man Hearts nil, 67 minutes gone, and despite an onslaught from St Mirren at the start of the second half, Hearts are surviving. A couple of great saves by Schwolow, the Hearts goalkeeper. St Mirren nil, Hearts nil.
Gyökeres gets a nice ovation from the Arsenal supporters. Kai Havertz comes on to replace him, and Noni Madueke is the player to come off as Leandro Trossard replaces the England international. Matt Upson.
Yeah, interesting subs. I think this will really freshen Arsenal up a little bit. Chelsea, for me, have maybe looked like the more likely to create something or score a goal. And these two substitutions, especially with Havertz, I think he brings a real physical presence, certainly in the air. They'll look to hit him and maybe go long into him as much as they can.
As a result of Trossard coming on, Martinelli now has switched to the right.
Yeah.
So it's Trossard, Havertz and Martinelli from left to right as that front three for Arsenal. Rice clips the ball over the top. Trossard makes the run. Knocked up in the air by Gusto under pressure. Havertz beaten to the air by Cucurella, who jarred as he fell to the floor, but was back to his feet. Trossard now tries to play a low ball in towards Havertz. Helped out by Nkapie. Fofana has to concede the throw under pressure. It's an Arsenal throw deep inside Chelsea half, just before 9:30 on this Tuesday night on 5 Live. 0-0. The throw from Nkapie goes back towards Rice. Rice plays it in, kneed away by Fofana. Picked up by Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez being tracked by Zubamendi. Out to the substitute Estevao, tries to give it back towards the Argentine, but there was Timber And Timber standing firm, runs away from Esteban, tried to bring him down actually, and it's a free kick to Arsenal. It's heating up, Frank Kirby.
It is. The crowd are getting very lively with some of these decisions by the referee, but it's definitely livening up a little bit, and both teams now, the tempo just keeps going up and up as the half goes on, and I think the substitutions have definitely helped with that, especially in Chelsea's case. Obviously Arsenal just making them now, but it's definitely turning into that cup game I think that everyone wanted it to be.
Well, Esteban was just shown a yellow card, the third Chelsea player to be booked, along with Jalap and Gusto. Remember, Mikel Arteta shown yellow earlier, the Arsenal manager, but we've got 19 minutes remaining, and it is still goalless. Matt Upson.
Great play from Timber, wasn't it? I mean, he wins the ball, he's feeling Gusto with his arm, he's rolling one way, then the other, spins him, knocks it down the line, and really tries to drive with the ball. I mean, he's had an excellent season, Jurrien Timber at right back for Arsenal. That was a typical piece of play from him.
Enzo Fernandez finds Palmer. Palmer's early ball. João Pedro is touch. Just allowed Declan Rice to dispossess him. Nkapie. Forward then to Trossard, who holds the ball up, drops back inside the Arsenal half and passes the ball in field. Saliba gives it back to Gabriel. Gabriel, Eze dropping deep midway through his own half.
It's been quiet, Eze, isn't he?
He has.
Not had a lot of the ball, Deno, at all.
Caicedo was following him every step of the way. Havertz, Saliba, Timber on that right side. Back then to Saliba once again. Zubamendi. I've got to say, I've really enjoyed the game.
Yeah.
Even though that chances have been at a premium as Rice has overhit that ball and it races away out for a goal kick.
Yeah,
but from a tactical point of view, because of our position, we're able to see it unfold in front of our eyes.
Yeah, you like it up here, don't you?
I do, yeah.
Good job you got those warm gloves to
you keep
those
on about
hands
the
warm,
gloves.
mate.
I'm not even wearing them.
Hey? Well, yeah, slipped them on at half-time for a little turbocharge warm, didn't you?
Here is Sanchez waiting to take
next to Iron Man.
The goal kick downfield. Saliba gets himself in front of João Pedro, helped up by Gabriel. Back towards Kepa. You believe it was 2019 when he had that little spat with Sarri. Where's that gone? That just seems like yesterday when he was the Chelsea keeper. Chelsea wanted to take a quick free kick there. It's a cold evening. Santos has gone in on a challenge on Zubamendi.
I think there's a bit of a... Is there a little kick out there? As I'm just seeing on a replay there. It's Esteval.
No, it's Santos, isn't it?
Oh, it is Santos, yeah, sorry. It is Santos. Just had a little kick out, I think, at Zubamendi. I mean, Cucurella's on the floor again, hair bouncing about everywhere. He's never far from the action, Marc Cucurella, when it comes to these kind of things. But I think the referee's just trying to diffuse it. It is much better in the second half in terms of the intensity. I enjoyed the first half for what it brought, something different. This is more like a semi-final, and you can feel the need now that Chelsea have to get something. The onus is on them now. It was Arsenal at the start, I thought, had a little bit of the pressure. Goal lead at home, expected to go through. Now we're getting towards the last 15 minutes of the game. Chelsea have to make something happen.
I like the way that the referee's taken charge of this game there. He's just called the two captains towards him and just said, right, have a word with your players, settle it down. As Garnacho's going to be coming on, the Arsenal supporters have somebody else to boo other than Cucurella now, and the player who comes off is Andre Santos. So Liam Rossini is really going for it, for the goal that they now crave with 16 minutes remaining.
Well, he had a cracking impact off the bench in the first leg, Garnacho, and then obviously got his start at the weekend and didn't cover himself in glory and got dragged off at half-time, but certainly is a player that can produce something.
Palmer looking to link up with João Pedro. Rice breaks up the move. Estefao battles to help win it back. Palmer, Rice then again, just doing what he does. As effective as ever in the midfield, and the ball goes away from Kepa. We've got 15 minutes remaining. It remains 0-0. This is exactly what you and Fran were talking about, for Chelsea to remain in the tie. And Liam Rossini's players have given them every hope of still extending it for another 30 minutes, if they can find that goal. Gusto looking for Esteval. holds off Nkapie. Esteval then loses out in a 50-50 with Zubimendi midway through the Arsenal half. Trossard backpedaling, knocks the ball up in the air. Eze will just touch it back to Saliba.
That was cash, wasn't it? I mean, that was not an easy ball for Eze to deal with, and he just about did it really well.
And Eze looks for that forward ball that was marshalled back to his goalkeeper by Fofana towards Sanchez. 14 minutes remain. Chelsea need a goal, still drawing. Esteval doesn't get past Nkapie. Arsenal now have it. Havertz, Nkapie down the left side. Trossard gives it back to Havertz. Good close control. Infield to Eze. Under pressure. Forced over. Free kick. Push from Chalobah.
It's super tight now, the game, isn't it? I mean, there's no time on the ball whatsoever. You get the ball, there's someone rushing at you to shut you down, or they're already on you. It's a real physical game now, actually. A lot of contact. Players bumping each other from behind, from the side. Chalobah that time just too much and knocked Eze over. I think players will start to play for those fouls as well. I mean, referee's right on top of the contact. It isn't a massive amount of contact from Chalobah. He's not happy with the referee for giving the foul, but it's from behind. Eze takes it, goes down, and it's going to be a little bit about game management for Arsenal as well. They've got the lead. They just need to see this game through now.
Notts County have gone second in League Two. They've beaten Gillingham by 1-0. And Harrogate Town, bottom of the table, 0. Swindon Town 1 is the latest score. Trossard doesn't get any change out of Gusto. Rice wins it back for Arsenal. Zubimendi with a cross. Far post. Gabriel with a header. Blocked by Cucurella. It looked like it was goal-bound, that header. But Cucurella, with his bushy hair, had something else to say about that, as Trossard then is bundled over by Gusto, and Arsenal get a free kick 10 yards.
I mean, it was like slow motion. The way that ball was drifting to the back, but it went over everyone. You saw, was it Timber at the back, at the far post with the header?
Gabriel, wasn't it?
Gabriel up there, was it? It was Gabriel all the way up there. I mean, it took an eternity to land on his head, and when he heads it, he gets so much power, and it's got ages to line it up. He's punching it back across goal. Cucurella runs across the face of it and takes it right in the face. It's a great block from Cucurella. Gets it exactly the right position.
With that mop of hair, it caught him full on the forehead. 12 minutes.
Sprung off the forehead.
12 minutes to go of normal time. 0-0. Here is Caicedo. Palmer. Now with Enzo Fernandez. João Pedro lays it off. Palmer's forward ball. Esteval tried to get the early shot away. Nkapie got the challenge in. Referee Peter Banks has given a direct free kick in a very central area. Frank Kirby, this is certainly within shooting distance.
Absolutely, and it's Cole Palmer again, just the calmness that he finds them passes. He wants to play the through balls, and Estavio does very well here. Maybe goes over a little bit easy, but it's a really good area for Chelsea here, and I'm sure Cole Palmer will definitely fancy this one on his left foot.
Cracking pass, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just wrapped it in, broke the line, saw the little gap, and you can just thread the ball through a yard of space, and he fires it in to create the opportunity. This is dangerous, Leno. This could be the moment that Chelsea have been waiting for.
In the unrelenting rain, there is a direct free kick for Chelsea, which is dead centre, just outside the D. Royal blue shirts and shorts, Cole Palmer. Enzo Fernandez are the two likely takers. It'll be off the left foot of Palmer or the right foot of Enzo Fernandez. Kepa, the goalkeeper, has got everybody back inside his penalty area. Now, we would say that Eze is in the draft excluder role, but on the TCV podcast we were told that that is the grub hunter position, as it used to be known back in the day. There is 4 in the wall. Eze's the one lying behind it, but behind that Arsenal wall you've then got 2 Chelsea players who Peter Banks has just had a word with. One of them is João Pedro, the other one is Fofana. Fofana's got his back to goal. João Pedro is trying to stare out Kepa. Now they walk away. Tension building, 0-0. Free kick. Enzo Fernandez trying to have a word with referee Peter Banks. They've added extra bodies to the wall.
I'm sure I've heard that being called the skirting board as well. Don't know, you heard that one?
Yeah, the skirting board.
Yeah.
The doorstop, Charlie Adams said recently on 5 Live.
I don't think you need anything at the moment. There is a lot of Arsenal bodies. I mean, this is such a dangerous free kick.
Palmer tries to get it over the top, hits the wall, comes out to Chalobah, takes a deflection on its way through. It's a corner kick to Chelsea. You can feel the tension.
Well, the wall does its job. It's plain and simple. They're in the way. They've got the skirting board or draft excluder underneath. They all jump, and Cole Palmer can't get it over the wall and down in time. It just catches someone's head. I mean, there's a big appeal for a hand there from Enzo and Cole Palmer. If I look at the replay, I think it does maybe come off the shoulder of Kai Havertz. Maybe there is a bit of arm contact, but nothing clear and obvious at all.
What's he to do in the wall?
I mean, if they haven't actually having a look at that.
Well, the corner kick hasn't been taken just as yet. They would naturally have a look at it, James Bell, the VR official, but I think the corner can now be taken, so that's been dismissed.
I think it might be something. I think, is it possibly an arm from...
In comes the corner, flicked onto the near post by Fofana and flicked wide, goal kick. Sorry, Matt.
No, I thought they were still looking at it. They obviously cleared it up. It was Martinelli that came out and had the block, but that was another good delivery from Chelsea, who have looked quite dangerous actually from the set plays. They've swung them into those areas that you normally see Arsenal hit. Goes into the near post this time, little glancing flick from Fofana. Tough to score from that angle.
Full-time at Ewood Park in the Championship. Sani.
Rovers won, Wednesday 0, and given Wednesday are now winless in 24, a home win for interim boss Damien Johnson was on the cards. Erin Cashin smashing home across Lowe on 13 minutes, a first win in 9 after Valerian Ismail sacked. Jamal Lowe hit the ball for Sheffield Wednesday, who did all he could, but Rovers hold on. Blackburn Rovers 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0.
Bristol Rovers have beaten Walsall 2-0 in League 2, Barnsley 2, Northampton 2 as a full-time score in League 1, Burton 1, Doncaster 2, Barnet 1, Crewe 1 are other latest full-time scores in League 1 and League 2 respectively. Less than 8 minutes remain of normal time. It remains tight. Nkapie. Arsenal just trying to see this through. They've only won this competition twice in their history. The last time was back in 1993. Psychologically, it could be huge for the league leaders to get through to a final, to give them an opportunity of silverware in March. Martinelli wins the ball, leaves it now for Trossard, left-hand side, cuts the ball back, edge of the area, almost fell to Rice, interception from Palmer, up towards João Pedro, down onto one knee, good hold-up play, out towards Estevao, who backpedals and somehow keeps the ball in play towards Palmer, rides one challenge, but runs into trouble. Now Eza comes forward, running at the heart of the Chelsea defence, out towards Martinelli, goes down inside the area, got to be a penalty. Has to be a penalty. Chalobah and Martinelli inside the area. Peter Banks hasn't given it. VAR will have a look. What do you think, Matt?
Well, I think the assistant's in a great position to see it. I mean, it's so hard to tell unless you see from the reverse angle of whether or not he gets enough of the ball here. Chalobah, he takes a massive risk because he goes to ground to win it. Martinelli's waiting for the ball to come to him. Chalobah's at full stretch. It's obviously having a heavy look. I mean, there was a lot of half kind of fouls in the build-up to that. Palmer not happy that he got nudged in the breakdown, but he does get a piece of the ball, Chalobah first, and then there's a follow-through on Madueke, on Martinelli. I don't mind that one. I think that's okay for me. I think he gets a piece of the ball, and then his momentum takes him into Martinelli.
Fran?
Yeah, I agree. I think he wins the ball first, and it's just his body just takes him away. But I think in that situation, the lino definitely would have seen it. I think he would have flagged if he had seen straight away that Chalobah hadn't won the ball. So
yeah, from our angle, we're scratching our head, but we can't see the contact on the ball, can we?
Exactly.
So he's got a great view, and it was a good call.
I thought to the naked eye from here, I was thinking penalty.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's 0-0, play continues. VAR has had a look. Estevao, right side. We've got 5 minutes remaining. 0-0 on the night. 3-2 to Arsenal on aggregate. Rice to Trossard. Rain getting a little heavier. It's never stopped. It's felt all day in London today as Sanchez comes out of his penalty area and hits it long. And Nkapie heads it forward as he stoops. Helped on by Havertz. Chalobah, forward header. Zubamendi tries to get there before Enzo Fernandez. Then there's a foul Zubamendi on Caicedo. Full time at Bramall Lane. Nathan Albert.
3-1 to Sheffield United against Oxford. Blades up to 15th. Goals from Peck, Brooks and Ogbene after Pert Harris opened for Oxford. Oxford remain 5 points from safety. Full time Sheffield United 3, Oxford 1.
Josh Acheampong is going to be coming on for Chelsea. 4.5 minutes of normal time remaining. Here is Garnacho, left-hand side. Back to Enzo Fernandez. Caicedo, Fofana is out wide, appealing for the ball and gets it to his feet. Shuffles it out now towards Estevao, who's switched to this near right flank. Sends in a left-footed cross. João Pedro was there. Out of the penalty area it goes. Havertz back there helping out. Cucurella helps win it back for Chelsea. Caicedo to Gusto, who will wait for Fofana to get behind him as just for an insurance more than anything else. Now it's with Chalobah outside the centre circle. Then Gusto's made that run. Enzo Fernandez just waits and goes short and square. Arsenal have everybody back. They have the vocal support of the home crowd. Just trying to help them in these closing stages. It's Caicedo to Gusto. Back with Caicedo once again. Cucurella was desperate for the ball to be lifted into the penalty area, but they're being patient. Out to Estevao once again. Nkapie stands in front of him. Estevao helped out by Fofana. Fofana runs down the side, sends in a cross, helped on by the head of Estevao, lifted up in the air by Gabriel. Full time at Hull City, Chris Coles.
0-0, Watford 0, promised much, delivered little. Watford should have won it, had most of the meagre chances there were, including the best. Loser shooting wide when unmarked from 12 yards. It's a point to take Hull within 4 of the top 2. Watford now 3 points off the playoffs. Hull 0, Watford 0.
Thank you, Chris. So that rounds up all the action in the Championship. The results in League One: Port Vale 0, Wimbledon 1, Barnsley 2, Northampton 2, and Doncaster Rovers won away at Burton by 2-1. And the 4 results in League 2: Barnet 1, Crewe 1, Harrogate 0, Swindon 1, Notts County 1, Gillingham 0. Notts go second. Bristol Rovers beat Walsall by 2-0. BBC Radio 5 Live, BBC Sounds. We have 2.5 minutes remaining. Acheampong came on.
Yep. He came on in the middle of all that. He just won a free kick.
Enzo Fernandez is going to take this free kick. In it goes now to a crowded area, helped on, and dropping wide, goal kick. And who went off?
Gusto.
Right,
thank you. Gusto went off, and Acheampong has come on in that right-back position. And Chelsea really now got to throw the kitchen sink at it. Everything has to go. I mean, they're taking a little bit of time trying to find and build. Arsenal being stubborn, but they can't take too much time. You've got to be maybe a little bit more direct, start getting the ball wide, get crosses in the box, win set plays, maybe something will drop.
Clearance from Kepa, downfield. Havertz tried to flick it on, falls to the feet of Timber, chips the ball long. Martinelli far side the right will give chase. Chalobah lifts it towards Cucurella. Eza though heads it forward for Arsenal, who are now in possession. Still 0-0 in this second leg of this semi-final. Arsenal inside the Chelsea half. Rice along the ground. Nkapie joins the attack near side the left midway through the Chelsea half. Chelsea working hard to try and get it back. They go to Gabriel. Further back now midway through their own half is with Saliba. The Chelsea shirts push downfield. Arsenal hit it long. Martinelli beaten in the air by Cucurella. Garnacho then lays it off towards Cucurella. Went away from him a little bit, but he still managed to find Fofana. Forward ball then to Caicedo to run forward. Runs away from Eza, slips, and then ultimately loses the ball to Eza. His short forward ball helped on by Havertz to Trossard. Arsenal are attacking now on this near side. Acheampong in front of Trossard. Declan Rice still going, giving it everything, running forward. Trossard though runs in field, 30 yards from goal. Runs into a central area and passes the ball to Timber and continues to run out towards that far side, the right, past Cucurella. But Garnacho is there to get it back for Chelsea. And then Enzo Fernandez, and Caicedo just helps it on its way to that left touchline for Cucurella. By my watch, we're now inside the last 30 seconds of normal time. Thomas Bramall, the 4th official, is poised with the electronic board. There have been a lot of substitutions. I'm expecting at least 4, maybe even 5 minutes of added time. Palmer, Enzo Fernandez, opens up for Fernandez, but his right-footed shot over the crossbar. Goal kick, and there's been a goal at St Mirren. Kenny Crawford.
88 minutes gone for so long. Hearts held out, but St Mirren have got the goal. St Mirren 1, 10-man Hearts nil. Miguel Freckleton, the defender, rising to put his head on Declan John's corner. St Mirren 1, Hearts nil.
Remember, Hearts 6 points clear of Celtic, but they've been down to 10 men after Halkett was sent off, and that could be the end of their 5-match unbeaten run, as there are 6 minutes of added time.
Cole Palmer with a pass there again into Enzo. He's put some slick balls forward. He really has looked good, Cole Palmer, since coming on, brought something a little bit different for Chelsea.
Again, we had 2 balls on the pitch where there was a delay. It looks like that record. 1987, the last time that a side has lost a first leg at home and reached the final. Manchester United did win their second leg against Manchester City in 2020, and Stoke came against Liverpool in the second leg in 2016, but they were unable to reach the final. It's something that Newcastle will try and overturn in tomorrow's other semi-final that will bring you from 5 Live Sport on air at 7 tomorrow. But Arsenal are almost there, under 5 minutes away of stoppage time. And the cheers will tell you that Sanchez's clearance has gone straight out for an Arsenal throw, and they're in no real hurry to take it. All about eating up valuable time in injury time here on 5 Live, as another second ball is bounced onto the pitch.
I mean, how many times is this going to happen in this game? More than one ball on the pitch, about 6 times already this evening.
Just had the Australian Open, we don't need new balls, please. Here is Nkapie waiting to take the throw down the left-hand side, off the chest of Havertz, flicked in field by Trossard, laid off by Eze. Fofana will, no, Acheampong will let it go to play for a throw for Chelsea, deep inside their half. Time running out for Chelsea, Frank Kirby.
Yeah, it is. They have one more attack, I reckon, in this game, because Arsenal are just trying to delay the game as much as they can. They're keeping the ball, playing in the tight areas, but they have to get the ball forward now with Sanchez. I think his distribution in the last situation was very, very poor, so he's just killed the momentum of his team, but they need to go forward now with pace.
Arsenal, who've suffered just 1 defeat in their last 15 in all competitions. It would mean that the trip to Wolves would have to be rescheduled. Indeed, it would come up quite quickly on the 18th of February, that trip to Molineux, and it would be rearranged. But Palmer might have other ideas about that. Comes forward, Rice again blocks the move on the edge of the penalty area. And Arsenal with Trossard hit it forward, but it goes past Nkapie. And Mikel Arteta then says to Nkapie, get back into your left-back position.
Get in there. That is what he's saying. He's right in the, as he always is, right on the edge of his technical area. But I thought really opened up for Palmer there for a moment. I thought he was going to take it on and get a shot off and try to find the pass. Not sure it was the right option. He gets it onto his right or left foot. I fancy him from the edge of the box to make Kepa work at least.
Great noise being generated by the Arsenal supporters as Garnacho comes forward for Chelsea on that far side, the left. Still at 0-0. Still it's tight in the balance with Arsenal 3-2. That advantage from the first leg 3 weeks ago. Garnacho, whose 2 goals, got Chelsea giving them hope for this second leg. On the ball, back it goes, infield now, chip forward towards Garnacho by Caicedo. Repelled by the Arsenal defence. Chelsea, though, have it again. Here is Enzo Fernandez on the stretch, forward ball, and then eventually cleared by Nkapie, who's in a central area. They do not break out, the red and white shirts. Chelsea will retrieve it on the halfway line. And by my watch, we're now under 2 minutes remaining of stoppage time. Once again, the vocal encouragement to try and keep Arsenal's players going on this wet and damp, chilly night. As Enzo Fernandez to Palmer, side onto goal, back to Fernandez. Fernandez chips the ball forward into the area, helped on by João Pedro. Fofana is there, Fofana can't get the shot away, bounces away on the edge of the area. Fofana tees it up towards Caicedo, doesn't beat the first man, blocked by Trossard, out it goes for a Chelsea throw. But it is late pressure from Chelsea.
A great line of approach there from Trossard, knew where Caicedo wanted to whip that ball and just put his body in the way. Very nearly opened up for Fofana though, didn't it? Nearly got his shot off in the box.
Caicedo plays it, looking towards Cucurella, interception from Eze, deep inside the Arsenal half, drilled to safety downfield by Declan Rice, who's had a fine game. Sanchez comes out of his penalty area, almost up towards the halfway line to get it. Gives it then to Enzo Fernandez midway through the Arsenal half. In field, Palmer running away from Havertz. By my watch, we're now inside the last 60 seconds of stoppage time. Garnacho's cross. Rice will step out of defence and hits the ball out towards Martinelli. Martinelli races after it. Sanchez comes out of his area and gets there first. Down that left touchline he goes to find Garnacho inside the Chelsea half. Enzo Fernandez is now over the halfway line. A look at the watch and 20 seconds remain. This has only got to go one way for Chelsea. They need a goal, but time is desperately not on their side. Chalobah joins the attack. Arsenal supporters know that they're close. 5 live here. Caicedo to Estevao on the chest, right corner of the area. Back towards Caicedo. Caicedo's cross blocked by Trossard. It will spin forward. Cucurella plays it back, almost like an Arsenal clearance, towards Chalobah. The 6 minutes of added time are now up by my watch. Caicedo goes direct in the area, headed on and caught by Kepa. He falls forward. The Arsenal players are celebrating with the supporters behind that goal. They know that time is almost up. Kepa clears long. How much longer will Peter Banks continue this game? Mikel Arteta is desperate for the full-time whistle. Still play goes on. 0-0. Chelsea looking to force extra time, but Arsenal get the ball away. And Trossard to Rice. Rice inside. This is Havertz. Havertz looks to go round the goalkeeper and scores. Arsenal are going to Wembley. The semi-final hoodoo is banished in stoppage time. The Arsenal bench erupts. That's the goal to seal it. 1-0 on the night, and Arsenal, after 4 successive semi-final eliminations, have reached the League Cup final. 1-0.
Well, 30 seconds ago, Mikel Arteta was going mad that the referee hasn't blown his whistle. Well, I bet he's glad he hasn't blown it now. What a finish to the game. I mean, it really has been a high-pressure last 10 minutes. Chelsea throwing everything at it, Arsenal being stubborn to beat, and then just to create the opportunity, the game, Chelsea have just thrown everything at it. There's no one back. Rice with a lovely early ball. Havertz round the keeper. 1-0 Arsenal.
Fran, Declan Rice has had another majestic game. As he ran forward on this left-hand side, his vision just to pass the ball in field.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what he brings. He brings that composure, he brings that calmness in them areas. Chelsea are absolutely dead. They're knackered. They've given absolutely everything to this game. They've tried to push for an equaliser, got caught out, and it's fantastic composure from Havertz. Just goes round Sanchez, nice little slip through. But yeah, it's fantastic from Declan Rice. You could go, oh, take it to the corner, but he's seen the 2 players who are free, and then they've just got to wrap the game up.
And what a confident, cool finish from Havertz.
It was, wasn't it? I mean, I thought he was going to be clever and try and pass it because there was a runner coming inside him. It was going to be offside, and I thought it was going to lay up, but he goes round Sanchez, and that was it.
Chelsea only had time to get the restart before the final whistle has sounded. Chelsea players slumped to their knees. The Arsenal anthem, the Angel, is being played here. Arsenal are heading to Wembley. They will meet either Manchester City or Newcastle on the 22nd of March. And Kai Havertz with the winning goal. It is Arsenal who progress. 1-0, 4-2 in aggregate. Kelly.
Matt, we'll just pause for a second and take some of this, because I think the sound of it lets you know how much reaching this final means to these Arsenal fans and how close they are to silverware. In commentary, Matt, the semi-final hoodoo is over. Arsenal are almost there. They have to get past either Manchester City or Newcastle in the final next month at Wembley, and they will have their second piece of silverware under Mikel Arteta, their first since just a partial season that he was in charge of at the beginning, and you can sense how close these fans feel to getting there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's important they win a semi-final. It's important they win a trophy again, because they're not winning enough, given that they've been in and amongst it for quite a while now. There's not enough silverware to show for it, and that's what this season's all about for Arsenal. So to make it there is a great achievement. It's an earlier cup, isn't it? So if you do go all the way and win it, what that will do to the Premier League boost, which is the trophy they want. Let's not hide it. It's the trophy they want. Then it's massive, but the momentum of winning, the feel of the stadium at the end of this semi-final, it's great for Arsenal. I mean, Chelsea put up a brilliant game, made life difficult, but this place is rocking at the moment.
Chelsea did make it difficult for Arsenal, but they came through, Fran.
Yeah, absolutely. I think in the second half especially, Chelsea had to throw everything at it. They had to go for it. They had to bring on all the attacking players that they could. And, you know, they were dead on their feet at the end there. They couldn't get back and recover in. And I think it was a smart game from Arsenal in terms of they just controlled it, they looked after it, and they knew that, you know, Chelsea eventually would have to come out and they would have to do something. And, you know, catching them on the counter-attack with the last kick of the game just to seal the win. But I think both teams tactically set up very, very well today, and it was a good game. First half was a little bit slow, a little bit trying to figure each other out, but the second half really lifted.
What about that Arsenal performance? I know you said that Chelsea made it difficult for them, and they broke it down right with pretty much the final kick of the game. They held them at bay. How mature a performance was that from Arsenal?
Yeah, I think, you know, they didn't get flustered. It was so different to maybe what they were thinking they were going to face, that they had to think on their feet in game. Certainly, that's why I feel the first half was so cagey and neither team really getting into their flow. But Arsenal didn't need to show their hand further. It's one of those where you don't want to push too hard just because you want to win the game. You don't need to win the game. So let's just be measured. It might not be what we really want to do, but we need to do what we need to do to win the game. And I think Arsenal, that's the maturity that this group have now. They've been in big games for the last 3 or 4 seasons, went deep into the Champions League last season. They're building that understanding, that knowledge of how to win. And I think that's the important thing that the group really needs